Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they're kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rule. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm your host, James Boyd, and with me I have the ultimate light skin, Richard Derek Latta. What's going on, man? I almost forgot your middle name. I keep forgetting parts of your name, Rich.
This man trying to get rid of me, slowly but surely, Oh, not much, man. Just, about to bust down this show, but, being terrified that the state is reopening tomorrow, apparently.
Oh, man.
So, they trying to get, the ball back rolling out here.
Dude.
Apparently.
Okay,
might be fans at shows coming soon, James.
Yeah.
Will you be one of those fans going?
Fuck no. Come on now. Like, it's so funny that I was guest hosting on All Things Elite with Floyd, because Floyd is just like, I can't wait to get out the house and go do whatever. And I'm just like, get it how you live, bro. That's how you want to kick it. Go ahead. But me, I'm staying my ass in the house. Like, no. No. This is ridiculous. This is dumb. This is stupid. Like, it's just a matter of time before the shit spikes again. And luckily, a lot of Florida hasn't had to deal with some of the stuff that's going on in other parts of the country that's really bad. But shit like this is only going to lead the potential of it to really reach that point. And then what you going to do? He's like, oh no, like I broke my arm. What I'm going to do? I suggest you tape that shit up, homie, because we got people on ventilators out here. So
yeah, you better take a nap.
Yes, you better put some tussin on that damn shit.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
All bad. All bad.
It's funny because, we have the rest of the world for examples, of what not to do, right, and what to do at this point, and people still running around like, let's,
right.
And it's
look at California.
Like come outside. That second wave sitting, y'all know what I'm talking about. When Omar Epps is putting his stuff away in juice, and then that second wave, you close that locker, and Tupac standing behind that joint staring right at you. That's what the second wave of the Rona is like right now.
Right. And it's like, you just look at all the stuff that's going on, and you look at these like states with huge populations. Like Florida is, I think, the 4th most populated state. Yeah. And you look at California, there's more people or whatever else. Size of the states are roughly the same. And it's like, you see what California did, and you look at what we're doing, and it's like, gee, I wonder what's going to happen if you can open this shit back up compared to what California's done. Gee, I wonder. It's very, very frustrating, and it's like, and yes, I too would like to get out the house and go, do whatever I want to in life, but like that's not really what the deal is right now. And
so you mean is tell us, James, we won't catch you out there protesting for your right to, resume everyday life? in front of the cops and yelling? And, and like pushing the police. And holding the flag and all that.
No.
Okay.
No. That sounds like a good way for me to end up on a T-shirt. No, thank you.
Nothing happened to any of those folks that were doing that.
Yeah, they're white. Fuck. Like they have a that
advantage
thing that they're able to flaunt and flash on the police. Like they work for them. They don't work for me. Like all our taxpayer money spends is out of the same, but they don't work for us.
That's funny. Oh man. Yeah, I watched obviously getting ready for episode 5 and 6 of The Last Dance, and last week we're focusing on Dennis Rodman and then Jordan's battles with the Pistons
and Phil Jackson. Yeah.
Phil Jackson, before he went off, the reservation,
Was that a Native American joke?
It was. So, I've always think, this man was talking about, I forgot, it was something he said, he just had a way that he bonded with Rodman. I'm like, it was the weed, Phil. That's all it was.
It was drugs. It definitely involved some drug use. Yes.
Yeah.
I think the thing that was interesting for me is that Rodman is somebody that is so hard to evaluate from a standpoint of, yes, we know he was a good player, a very good player. I will stop short of saying great because my standard for great is a little different. But if you were to say he was a great player, I wouldn't argue. But where I always have this kind of like cutoff of like where that means what that means as far as like we start comparing him to like the all-time greats. Like I forgot where he ended up in Bill Simmons' book of basketball. He was in the top 100. I think it's like fucking absurd.
I think he was 69 or something.
Yeah, that's fucking absurd. Like he's not a better basketball player than Chris Webber. Get the fuck out of here. Or Chris Paul at the time. Whatever. But Vince Carter, T-Mac, whatever. So I'm sorry saying more names. let's start more names. But whatever. I'm not gonna get through all. I'll get to all that. But the thing for me is just like it was cool to see the appreciation of while you watch him and they show all these cut ups of like. In his mind, he's using his hands to visualize like what went through his mind on where to chase angles and what his mind like. He figured out positioning and where to be when the ball is in the air when someone shoots from a certain position. You can see when he does. They keep showing the cuts and flash of him doing. I go like here, I go here because he's not really he's not really verbalizing, articulating it well. But you see his hands and you kind of get an idea of like what he means, and it's like yes. Obviously, one of the 2 or 3 greatest rebounders of all time is a fucking genius when it comes to positioning, rebounding, and knowing where to read the glass and the hustle and heart to get to it or whatever else. But like to see like the thought that went into it in his mind, at least you can see him trying to articulate with his hand motions is like because he can't really put it into words. It's like
he's trying to he was trying to put like the genius, like the thing that's obvious to him and it's not so obvious to everyone else that comes second nature to him is like he's trying to basically deliver it to us fucking novices or whatever. Like he didn't just end up by all those balls by accident.
Yeah, and the thing for me is like as somebody that when I play youth basketball, I was always a big man. So one of the things is like, you want the ball? Go fucking get it off the glass, right? So like, I was always a person that prided myself on rebounding, and I always was a person that was into the idea of somebody shoots from this spot on the floor. You pay attention to when this person shoots, if he's a person that shoots long, or whatever else, and what that could mean for spots on the floor, or if where to just get yourself a spot on the like. Around the rim to get yourself a position to, regardless of wherever it bounces, to get yourself a good guess of where it could go. And it was cool to see someone as a fucking genius at that try to explain it. And it was weird because like while he's saying and doing stuff and he can't articulate the words, like I kind of got the gist of what he meant, and it was like, am I crazy here or what? But that was really cool. And then to hear the story that like I didn't know Rodman's story like this, to where like. He didn't play basketball until he was like 20.
20, yeah. I've like researched Rodman like heavily. Like he's he has a fascinating life,
right,
to say the least. Right?
Yes, very interesting. Interesting. Brian Aversillo, Bill Simmons.
Yeah. The fact he doesn't play and he's at like Southeast Oklahoma State.
Right.
Like what?
Exactly.
Like where is that? Does that still
has
exist?
to be a community college.
Yeah. And then, talking about how he was a Piston, and then they talk about the collapse of the Pistons, and then how he ends up as a Bull. Like they stole him like for like Will Perdue, in a trade. And
one thing they didn't really touch on is the fact that like they got him for nothing and why they got him for nothing. Like he completely
tanked his value. He Randy Moss's stuff.
I would say he basically did like whatever the line is above saying someone sabotaged. Like he effectively sabotaged David Robinson in that 95 playoffs. and so it was like, dude, what's wrong with this dude? He needs to go. Like I don't know if he's gonna be in the league. And then the Bulls take him, and you're just like, oh no. And sure enough, that oh no turned into three more title runs. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. But then, the other side was that, the Bulls going through, eventually facing the Pistons and losing over and over until they finally, hit the gym, lift some weights and grow into, their bodies, and start developing. And then they get them out of there. And then, you get Isaiah Thomas's point of view, who I'm kind of beginning to sympathize a lot with Isaiah, is just seeing a lot of the, stuff over the years. Remove his Knicks tenure. Not talking about that at all, right?
Why would I remove his Knicks tenure when that man was at the front lines of the Me Too movement? Why would I remove that?
Well, I'm not removing it. I'm just not talking about it.
Okay.
I don't mean in areas where I sympathize with Isaiah. I want to make that very clear, But it just reminded me, like, seeing all the documentaries and all the books I read, and, advanced stats aren't always kind to Isaiah, but
they're not.
He was a fucking dog. Like,
he was
a dog, a person who I've watched on ESPN Classic a million times. Game 6, 88 NBA Finals. He fucked his ankle up.
Was it 20 points in the quarter?
25 points in the quarter. 25. Man turns literally to a human fireball. Like the best, like kind of example I can kind of give, like in a losing effort. It was kind of like reminded me, like if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know if you guys remember 2012 finals when Westbrook scored like 43 and he was just a cyborg, but they still lost.
For most field goals made in the finals in that game, and then like he ended up choking away at the end, but he was incredible for like 46 minutes of that game.
Right, and just knowing like all that stuff about Isaiah, and then think about like why would Isaiah, like he spent essentially like the last 30 years essentially being told that, like fuck whatever your contributions were to basketball, you weren't on the dream team, you weren't all this other stuff. And it was just like, fuck, from Isaiah's point of view, he's going to look at it like, we beat Larry, we beat Magic, we beat Michael, and no one gives a fuck because, of various reasons. And
but the part that you're glossing over is like some of those reasons are like his own doing, specifically his doing.
Well,
like,
yeah.
And so like that's the thing, right? So it's funny because we were talking about Isaiah this week. It's different threads, and also like Draymond, and it's like your mouth got you into these situations. What level of sympathy am I supposed to have for you? You're an asshole at certain points, and your assholeness got you the hands you were dealt.
But it's like
some people I understand.
Pick and choose on their assholes.
No, what I'm saying is, I understand the fact that you feel for these people, and like I don't begrudge you for feeling that way for the people. You, Rich, particularly. Me, my point is, I don't give a damn because you made your bed like that, and I don't feel like I'm a bad person for not giving a damn about you. You did this. You're on your own. I'll wash my hands of you. If people feel bad for you, that's because of the kindness of their heart, not because you deserve it necessarily.
Mm-hmm. And the way that history looks back over like Isaiah and the Pistons by association, essentially, it's like you catch the Celtics kind of as they're coming down, You
Yep,
know,
Bird's back.
You catch the Lakers like as they're kind of on fumes, and then you catch the Bulls like you fight them kind of in their you shepherd them until they're coming of age essentially, and then they get rid of y'all, and then everyone's just like, you know, fuck y'all, like y'all out of here.
What draft was Len Bias drafted in 86? 86? That's another part about it is like y'all like Bird's back goes out, Reggie Lewis in the car accident, Len Bias fucking dies. It's like
Mikael breaks his foot.
Y'all were never going to make it out the East, and then like y'all had a bunch of shit break your way, and hats off to you, and y'all still beat the Lakers. And honestly, like, you know, I feel like a lot of the reason why people don't talk shit about like the 89 finals when it came to Magic getting hurt was because like what happened the year before, like you mentioned with the Isaiah game.
Yeah,
because they swapped each other's titles.
Right. Which is fucking hilarious. Like when you think about this decade, like like the Warriors and Cavs and stuff like that, and you know, but the thing, you know, circling back to Isaiah is like the 6 foot point guard that like won, that was the best player. That's ultimately what it came down to. Like me, when I was like thinking about him this week, was like, yo, everyone that you know you can say is better than him, like a Chris Paul or anybody like that. They ain't never won.
I don't think people really think that with Chris Paul is better than Isaiah. But I mean, because I don't. But I know most people that I don't think anybody thinks that. I think people think that he is the best quote unquote prototypical point guard since Isaiah.
But it's like.
He's more respected, amongst his peers. So like I get what you mean.
It's like he ultimately won, and doing it in a way that wasn't done before that, and I don't think was really done after that. I mean, you could say the next Detroit team, but Chauncey Billups wasn't no fucking Isaiah Thomas.
No, not at
all. So it's like I don't know. I think, you know, the Pistons are on the wrong side of a lot of different things. So whether it's the Lakers, whether it's Jordan, and then him and Jordan, they're always going to have smoke because Isaiah's going to look at it like, I beat you 3 out of 4 times, and then everyone loves you. You're an asshole just like I'm an asshole, but they just love you and love your assholishness. It just adds to the legend. So I don't know. I'm just like kind of reevaluating Isaiah.
Of a evaluator of NBA talent as I am too.
Correct. You know. But
yeah, there's definitely a lot of that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was all really fascinating, like seeing that episode come together. Of course, they start talking about how Phil Jackson was you know, screaming to take over the team. Doug Collins already knew what the fuck it was. Yeah. The newscaster with the line, you know, if you're getting ready for work this morning, your name is not Doug Collins. Yeah. What a way. What a way to be introduced.
Yeah, it's funny because another part that I thought was funny with I'm gonna say Phil Collins, the Doug Collins stuff is that when my favorite athlete of all time is Randy Moss, and it's funny because like after they had their first coach, like Jordan had his first coach, and then Dennis Green with the Vikings, and then like they get the second coach, and it's like Doug Collins and Mike Tice, and they both basically like came to the same conclusion. It's like, we have the best football player, or we have the best athlete in our sport in the world. Let's like empower them and like give them the ball and let them do whatever the fuck they want. So it's like when it's Jordan going nuts and like you can see the pride, you can see like Doug Collins like beaming with pride, talking about like, when I was the coach for Michael Jordan, he won the scoring titles, he was MVP multiple years, he was defensive player of the year, and he won dunk contests. Have you ever heard an NBA coach talk about a player's dunk contest? I have never.
I ain't never heard nobody take no credit for that. Right. So was Doug in there, you know, working with him in the gym and saying, this is what you need to do, Michael, you know, I do it like this, watch me first, I'm gonna demonstrate it, go up there and do it, and then you just do what I do and you'll win.
Right. And like the way he was talking about it, it reminded me of like, oh my God, this is like Mike Tice talking about like the Randy ratio. Like, we are going to pump this ball to Randy Moss as much as we possibly can, because this is the most transcendent like offensive threat we've ever seen in the history of this sport. We are going to give them the ball as much as possible, which is like, that makes all the sense in the world, doesn't it? You got Michael Jordan. Go out there and try to score 40 every single night. Like, that makes so much sense to me. I don't know, but, makes a lot of sense to me. So, when they're talking about all that, and it's happening, I'm thinking that parallels, like, yeah, that makes sense. I would, like, Doug Collins, and you see Jordan, like, he's so, you can tell he's still so fond and has so much love for Doug Collins, and like
that's why he ended up as that Wizards coach.
Right, that's exactly right. And you can see how happy he's like, yeah, man, like, Doug Collins so into it, like he would end up in the games and he would sweat through his suit and be like, was he really sweating through his suit? And then they show him pregame sweating through his suit. It's like, damn, Doug really wanted it. And, they talked about, the ELO game or whatever else, which was funny because this is the first time we see Ron Harper, I think, in the docu-series so far. And it was funny because, like, I'm watching, I'm thinking, like, isn't Ron Harper on this team? And then sure enough, they cut to it and it's like, yeah, the person that was best guarding me would have been Ron Harper. And then, like, Ron Harper's like, I'm guarding him. And then, like, the coach is like, no, I'm going to go with ELO. And he makes this classic face and he goes, yeah, whatever. Fuck this bullshit. And then they just won the highlight of him just, destroying ELO. Or not destroying him, but, catching the ball, running past him, hitting the foul line jumper. Yeah. And, that was, one of the historic, like, iconic images of Michael Jordan. And it's like, you forget, it's like, or not, maybe you don't forget, but it's like, oh yeah, that was a first round game. Like, it's a first round jumper. Like, and you think about, like, what that means back then compared to what it would mean now, because people would be like, that don't mean shit. Like, people would, like, when Damian Lillard hit that series ender against the Rockets in 2014, I remember that because it was an incredible shot. People weren't going to talk about the legacy of Damian Lillard because of that. Like, we are so hypercritical compared to back then.
Yeah, I don't know what they was thinking back then. It's a real simple game.
So from there, they talked about the Pistons stuff and how he was out here getting his ass laid out because they want to play football instead of basketball, and the league was allowing that bullshit to happen, which is like ridiculous. And it like foreshadows like the next 15 years of basketball. Like the game is so fucking disgusting to watch, or hard to watch, because like they're not playing basketball, they're playing football, or not football, but like they're not they're not using their skill, they're trying to just beat the shit out of each other. And like, why would anybody actually like this? Unless I don't know. I've never. When's the last time you watched or went back and watched like a pre-2004 NBA game? Was it the Kobe stuff?
Yeah, I'll throw on some. So while I'm working at home too, I threw on actually some year 2000 Lakers on. But I'm not seeking anybody else out. Like,
yeah, I was thinking because Bill Simmons and Drusilla are doing these like rewatchable Jordan things, Jordan games, and like early to mid 90s like memorable basketball playoff games. And I was like, maybe me and Rich could possibly do that on one of these weeks where like we absolutely have nothing to talk about. And I was like, what game would I actually want to watch from the 90s that doesn't involve Michael Jordan? I'm like, I guess game one of the 1995 finals, the Nick Anderson game, maybe like I don't know. Maybe like one of these games where like Akeem just like takes Admiral's soul, right?
Watch Reggie Miller, light the garden up.
Oh yeah.
Notice how all these things involve skill, shooting, offensive excellence.
And not like, I want to see these dudes run into each other, or somebody try to drive the lane and someone try to take their head off with a clothesline. Like,
I'm trying to watch this Knicks Heat 77-76 final score.
Disgusting. But yeah, like they go through that, and then they start talking about like the no handshake thing after Jordan came back, and with Scotty they got tougher, and but all the time they're going back and forth, and they're also talking about the Rodman stuff and Rodman's upbringing and how Rodman kind of came through slowly as a quiet guy that became this like sensation as a defensive stopper and versatile player. And then, you know, talked about how he started dating Madonna, and then, like, he dated Madonna, and it was kind of like how Rich talks about when, like, rappers date Erykah Badu, about, like, they completely just change your mindset, and that might not necessarily be for the best for your actual, like, home, or your day job, or whatever else. And they talked about...
They rocking one of them hats. You know, y'all know what hat I'm talking about. And you start the thing about the hat you used to see Common show up in the Light video.
Basically,
you know?
Basically, it's a fly version of like a paperboy hat that like seemingly every nigga from the Midwest or the or from up north like wore in these music videos in like 2000 to 2006. It seemed like any of these off-brand niggas, it was like doing like, you know, soul instead of contemporary R&B. Like all of them had the Music Soul Child had one of them joints on. If you catch my drift, like the Roots, like Black, like Black Thought definitely rocked dozens of them joints. You know exactly what I mean.
The hat. I have never rocked the hat. I've never owned one of those.
You was too young. You was too young.
It missed me.
If you were 15, 10 years older, you would have had one of them hats.
Come for the wrestling, stay for the culture.
Like them niggas always had them hats like they was just waiting to like break Jill Scott's heart.
Oh my god.
Like you can see them like, oh, I see you. You finna be like the male interest in one of these what's her name? Angie Stone videos. That's what.
Yes.
We talking about Jordan, right? Okay.
Yes.
So
or Madonna influencing Rodman.
Rodman, and they skip super fast past the San Antonio stuff because that should have been like he was that was almost in his career.
Some time. They should have talked about Rodman, skipping out on NBA Finals games, which they still might, to go to WCW and shit like that. So we'll see if they bring that part up.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Then
I want to know what Michael Jordan thinks of the wrestling.
Oh my god, he probably thinks worse of wrestling than he thinks of rap. So he deserves to. So. Then they talked about the suicide scare thing with the gun and the missing whereabouts, and he's in the parking lot, which, like, for me as a person that watches football, like, at the time I was a kid, so I didn't really, think twice about it, and it happened so long ago. But then, like, listen to that again, and then, like, thinking about, like, Javon Belcher, used to play for the Chiefs, it was like, yo, this could have been really bad. Mm-hmm. Or whatever else. And then, he ends up on the Bulls, and the thing is, like, he's a consummate pro, and, like, when he's in the facility, and then he's out the facility, and anything's liable to happen, right? And then they talked about they flash forward to the 98 season about how, like, they were struggling at the beginning of that season because Scotty is off because he got decided to get surgery, basically, and not mess up his vacation, as he called it, or his summer off or whatever else. So he got the surgery late because he's still pissed at management. And he talked about how
sounds like something that was fairly common around those times. I could recall Shaq.
I knew you know. I knew he was gonna say Shaq. So from there, but it wasn't a problem with management. It was just like I just don't feel like getting the surgery now. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't feel like playing the season. That's pretty much what Shaq was on. Shaq's like, I'm good. Kobe, you want it so bad, go get it. Like, I'm fine. So then, so then from there, they talked about how Rodman had got himself teched out of a game, and Jordan was furious, and then, like, they basically made up later, without actually saying the words, I'm sorry, or I apologize, just whatever. They just, like, squash it there. And then from there, like, Rodman became like the secondary dude that Jordan relied on while Scotty was gone, and then they went on some run after that until Scotty came back. And then like the second Scotty came back, Rodman was like, "All right, man, I'm tired of being this good citizen. I've held up the fight so we can have this good record or whatever else. But like, I need a vacation. I want to be weird again. Let me be weird, Mike. Let me be weird, Scotty. Let me be weird, Phil." And they decided, well, what do you want? We're in the middle of the season. What the fuck do you want, Dennis? And then it's like, well, can I like get a little vacation? Can I get a little time away? Can I need some space? And they're like, we're in the middle of a season. What? And he's like, how much time do you need? A week? We can't give you a week. We got games. Well, can you give me? Well, give me what you can give me. 48 hours? He's like, if that's what y'all can give me, then that's what I'll take. And then it's funny because you see Jordan. It's funny because, like, clearly this is a thing that they were talking about for a while between Scotty, Mike, Phil, Dennis, and they're sitting. They played a video of what Jordan's thoughts were to the other three, and all of them are dying laughing because Jordan is like, I told them, do not let this man leave the reservation, quote unquote, because once he leaves the reservation, we're not gonna be able to find this fucking guy because he's liable to lose his mind. And Jordan, they're playing this probably because like, Jordan was bitching about giving him this time off or whatever else. And sure enough, they say they let him go, and then they show the counter of like the time going by hours, and all of a sudden it says hours past the 48-hour time, or whatever else. They said that Jordan had to go to Vegas, get in the hotel, find where he was at, knock on the door and get him, and find out that like he was chilling with Carmen Electra, hiding from Michael Jordan as Jordan's knocking on the door, telling him he need to get his ass back to training or to the facility or whatever else. It's like, yo, this is outlandish. This is wild. It's like,
boy,
this is like
if
this
was on Twitter.
Yeah, this is like 1990s. This is like 1998. This is 1998's version of like Black Hangover, the movie. It's like we got this crazy dude. He's fucking lost. We gotta find him. And he's in Vegas, and we gotta find him. And it's like, you have, a certain amount of time to go find this dude. And that's pretty much what it was. And they bring him back, and they're thinking like, oh God, he's been doing God knows what, doing whatever drugs. We have no idea. He's probably out of his mind. Like, it's crazy how they...
Dennis Rodman would not have passed a wellness test.
No. Well, he would have, because there's only like 4 a year.
No, I mean like the WWE wellness test.
Do we think that the WWE's wellness test is better than the NBA's?
You know what? I'm not confident in that because
they actually catch people for PEDs or for weed or for any other recreational drugs. Like with WWE, there was like a long time where no one was getting caught, and you've heard stuff about like the weed tax and all this stuff too. So I don't know.
Yeah. Look,
I mean, I think they're both like stupidity tests more than drug tests. Both
right.
of them, either way. But yeah. So then it's crazy how like hyper competitive the NBA is, or how tough it is, because like back then they were talking about he's been gone for 3 days. We don't know what kind of condition he's in, so we're going to do running drills to get his wind back after being gone for only 3 days. That's crazy. So they're doing the Indian run where, you have people in line or whatever else, or in a group, in a pack, and they're running, and the person in the back has to run to the front, and then once that person gets to the front, then they go, over and over and over while they're running in place. And Jordan basically like, man, I'm not finna kill myself over some shit that he did. Hey, Steve, start this shit off slow. And they started off slow, and then all of a sudden it was time for Rodman to get past, and Rodman has fucking hoodwinked all of them and basically sprints past all of them, and they all try to chase out them to be I would have been mad more than like laughing all, but I think it's one of those things where it's like, now that time has passed, it's funny, and we can talk the story about like he was gone for 2 days, but he was still in shape and still had his mind on right. So and then like they show the video of him like at some workout machine, and he has a Gatorade cup, and he looks at the camera and he shakes the cup, he goes, kamikaze. Like, that man is drunk working out, Rich.
This is not water.
Yes. Yes. Sounds quite interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I found it thoroughly compelling, and I really think that like this is a good illustration of like how crazy it was to be Rodman. Like Rodman was in a bit in the Tyson zone, when he was with the Bulls in that run, and like you forget that because like we talk about like all the stuff that's around LeBron and the joke, the Durant joke about the toxic environment that's around LeBron. There's so much stuff around him, and it's like Jordan had all of that plus more because the Bulls were a bigger deal because obviously there were more eyes on Jordan at the time because of far less options with TV or whatever else. But like that just shows you like the kind of starter. Like this is the third best player on the team. This is a dude that is not some flashy scorer. This is a dude that is, for lack of better words, a goon. Right? He is a role playing creep, and he was also a gigantic star. And you can notice. You can also look at what he did in wrestling to try to show you like. Him away from this drew a lot of eyes too, because he's out here like people had no idea what to make of him because like the wedding dress and the cross dressing and people constantly asking in the 90s if everybody's gay for some fucking reason. Like it's hard to put into words back then because I was younger, but like yeah, this dude was a fascinating person to a lot of people. So I don't know what Russillo and, Simmons are talking about. Like, I get what he mean. Like, maybe he wasn't an interesting interview, but like, that doesn't mean he's not interesting as a person. It just means that he's not interested in giving you what you want. But yeah, I can't wait to see what they do for episodes 5 and 6 tonight.
Apparently, episode 5 is a Kobe Bryant dedication. So if they end up showing, him versus Mike, in 1997 when Kobe ends up dropping 33, I believe Jordan has 38, and they put it to the right music.
Is that the Sunday NBC game?
I think so. It's on the Bulls home court.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I think so. Okay. I just hope I ain't over here crying or nothing, but I'm looking forward to it because Black Mama gonna be on this one. So
yeah. So this is a wrestling podcast, so it's time to talk about wrestling. This coming Sunday, we're going to get a WWE pay-per-view, Rich. Is it this Sunday?
Next Sunday.
Yeah, it's this Sunday. Next Sunday.
May 10th.
Yep, May 10th. Money in the Bank. This is the second year where they have decided to try to jumpstart the post-Mania season, where they have put Money in the Bank right after WrestleMania. Last year, it didn't really work that well. A lot of that had to do with the fact that their storylines going into WrestleMania were so kaput to a lot of people that people were just, after WrestleMania, just left. And then you had the stupid wild card rules, wild card bitches. And now, that's enough of that. Let's talk about now. We are doing Money in the Bank inside of the Titan Tower, and we are running both the men's and the women's Money in the Bank matches at the same time, and they're both starting on the ground floor of the building, and it ends at the top of the building. I don't know what's going on. I'm assuming this is going to be like an hour worth of cinematic wrestling. This could either be great or this could be awful. I doubt it's going to be anything in between.
And I don't think it's just going to be this one-shot deal. I think it's going to be like, all right, here's some of the match. Now we're going to go to watch
another match, a real match,
Bayley versus Tamina, and we will keep you updated, and then we'll come back, like kind of like the parking lot brawl at WrestleMania 12. With Roddy Piper and Goldust.
Piper and Goldust.
I think that's in play.
You're right, it could be.
I don't know if that's the case. I thought I saw something like that, but we're in a crazy time. I think the Money in the Bank concept has run its course years ago. I've talked about it, several times. I think it's just kind of, I'm desensitized to all these. I can't really remember them. So if they want to do this, and do them both at the same time, it seems like a lot of people to be gathering around, a lot of action to try to capture with cameras. Seems like kind of difficult, but I'm willing to let it give them a shot because what else? I don't need an empty arena 6-person ladder match.
To me, it's like the second or third best match of WrestleMania this year was a 3-person ladder match. So to me, it's like, I don't know if this. I mean, obviously they want to switch it up, and I don't begrudge them for switching it up. But for me, it's like you kind of took you had two birds. Or sorry, you took the bird in the hand and you decided to take it out your hand. Like, who knows what you're gonna get on this? And like with them, like they won't try to spruce this up with editing. In fact, their editing will probably make it worse.
Yeah, I'm looking for something to like some type of what happens in the crossover if all these people are going to be in the same place at the same time,
right?
What men and women start trying to link up and help each other or something like that. Like, does Daniel Bryan go on a ladder and then like Shayna Baszler push him down to help someone else win, or Nia or something like that? Like, I feel like just fuckery's afoot. Like, I feel like Nia Jax is like gonna win, and I feel like I don't know what. Well, let's go through the competitors. So in the women's, they've got Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella.
It feels like only 3 people can win that match. Like either Nia, Shayna, or Asuka. I mean, that's also the reason why like they had a 3-way match scheduled, and then they decided not to have a match because they didn't want to beat any of the 3, right? On Monday. So
the company that tells us wins and losses don't matter.
Yeah. And like, since when are they ever going to fuck about beating Asuka, right? So I think that I almost feel like, given what happened at WrestleMania, like they're just going to give it to Shayna and have Shayna eventually cash in on Becky. Because, like, that makes the most sense, right? Like, they have yet to play the... they have yet to do the Nia versus Becky match. They've teased it or whatever else, but I don't think they actually did it, and I don't think they ever promoted it. So, they can always go back to that of, I broke your face, and, the little bit of heat that Nia tried to gather from that until she, like, kept doing these promos that, like, people stop caring about, but like it's been a year.
They're going to try to redo that.
Of course they are. Yeah. So I think that it would make the most sense to, like, if you want Shayna to win the title eventually, because you kept pushing her after she, super hard and she lost one time. And Becky's been the champion for over a year now. You could, in theory, do the Nia match and play off of the, she's there to settle all debts because she already handled Asuka. She handled Shayna from Survivor Series. There's one left, and it's you. That's you were the one that I've been trying to get to for the longest. You're now back. Here's this title shot. Run me my fade. I beat you. Shayna catches in.
She punches Becky after the match, knocks her out.
Oh yeah, that's definitely something they do. Like, she beats her and then she punches her again, because that's exactly what they did at Royal Rumble 2019, where it's like she eliminated Nia and then like Nia like hurt her leg, and then that sent that whole rest of the 10 weeks down to shitter when she's like her gipping around.
Yep.
Yeah, so I can see that. I feel like it's either going to come down to either Nia or Shayna that wins this thing. That's how I feel. Like, if they did Asuka, that'd be a pleasant surprise, because Quiet has kept like Asuka and Becky is like maybe the best like feud of the year in WWE in the main roster. So there you go. Like, if you want to run that back, I'm glad to see it. Like, I'll take another 3 3/4 star match.
Then on the men's side, they got Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, Aleister Black, Corbin, Otis, and a to be determined. So we don't know who it's going to be yet. Any off the wall ideas on who it could be?
Brock?
AJ?
Could be. Could be. Like, so you said Corbin. Corbin's already won Money in the Bank. Daniel Bryan won Money in the Bank 2011.
Yeah, I don't think Daniel Bryan will win the Money in the Bank.
Let's see. You said Otis. Otis ain't winning it. Who else you saying?
Rey Mysterio.
Was it McIntyre? They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that.
Look, Rey Mysterio heel turn. Run it. Like Ray. Imagine if they turn Ray, right?
The best babyface they have in the company.
And he cashes in on him, and then his new thing is he's going to slow down and work the WWE style as a heel. the Rey Mysterio Chinlock Fest. Who knew?
You said that to get a reaction. You're not getting a reaction from me. Leave me alone. Can we? Where do we go from here?
Hey, look, the other guy in this match, they already turned him. Like, and you would think they wouldn't turn him, but
yeah. Corbin seems like Corbin was 17, right?
Look, ain't no fans to boo it.
You know, but you know what there would be? There'd be fans to not watch it. They'd be like, "Fuck this, turn that shit off."
Aleister Black.
Oh yeah, Aleister Black. Aleister Black seems like somebody that's kind of like he could use it. I think he could use it, but you know how they think? They think like, well, he wouldn't need that because we're actually giving him a push. You know, they like to give it to people they don't really want to push. That's the reason why they got themselves into trouble over the last few years with the Money in the Bank, as opposed to like giving it to people that like they actually want to do something with long term.
Yeah, the to be determined person has to be a heel because there's 4 baby faces in this match.
Yeah. AJ Styles would make would be a good like winner for this. But we'll see. If I were going to pick out the people that were available on this thing, I guess I'd say Corbin, knowing how they book.
Jesus.
Look, we're past money time, so it's time to go back to, you know, the person that we keep pushing, even though we always have to get away from him when it's money time.
You heard it first.
He's not really good.
King Corbin, I'll go ahead and watch that, so I have more incentive I'll go ahead and agree and pick Corbin as well, so I have more reason not to watch this show. How about that? That's
some real wow.
You know, 4D thinking right there.
Yes, that is the Skip Bayless where I root for something impossible or not likely to happen, and then when it doesn't happen, I can say I was disappointed in these people for not doing the improbable because I'm an asshole. Diabolical.
Then we got the singles match for the Universal title.
Yes.
Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt.
Yes. I don't know what they're doing to build this. Do you know? Because I don't mean that in a bad way, meaning like they're doing something stupid. I mean, like, I really do not know what they're doing. I haven't heard anything about it.
Same.
Which means it probably isn't good.
Yeah. I think I saw something. Braun was cutting a promo directly in the camera in the ring. And it just feels like it's like that man's wearing the belt. And he's got his new shirt on, and it's like they missed the fucking time with this guy so bad.
They're about 2 years too late.
And it's just like, well, empty arena. Fuck it, do what you want to do. Like, and y'all about to run Braun Strowman and Bray James. Are we headed to negative star territory?
I would say no, but I would also say that there is a possibility.
I was gonna say, is it in play if they come out here and try to give you a hard 12? You know,
yeah, it's in play.
Look, like Roman Reigns ain't in this match for Strowman, and Daniel Bryan ain't in this match for Bray Wyatt. So putting them together,
it's like when you have Braun, like you want him to do like these incredible feats of strength, but it's like you have Bray who ain't going up for none of that shit. Not easy. And then he's also is he doing the Fiend or is he doing the Mr. Rogers?
I think it's just Bray Wyatt.
That lends for a better match. So
does it?
Yeah, because can you imagine Braun Strowman versus the Fiend? That would be a fucking disaster.
I think I would be more interested in that.
Perversely, but like actually wanting to watch it and then be like, yeah, I want to watch this like 5 years from now. No, Rich, ain't no way. Think about how bad the Bray and Seth match or the Fiend and Seth matches were.
think about how bad Bray Wyatt versus The Miz was. Like, how cringe that shit was. Like, when he came out there with the belt on, and then he was, like, doing his entrance, and then everyone was staring at him.
That's also because Miz was out here doing... Like, they were out here trying to ruin the Miz's career. That's different. That's not even... Like, he's getting... Like, people are, you know... and somebody's invading his home, and then he comes out and does his fucking pose, and then, like... Yeah, that's... and then, like, Bray is sitting there just, like, eating all of his stuff and no selling it. And I don't think they would do that.
With no facial expression.
Yeah, I don't think they would actually do that to Braun. At least I hope not. Like, maybe be like, oh, whatever. 2 promos, he'll be good again. Like, whatever. We've ruined him a million times. We can ruin him again. He'll bounce back. That man's elastic.
Singles match for the... I guess I'll take Strowman retaining. I don't know.
Yeah, please. Don't
learn the lesson,
yeah,
WWE.
Like, don't
learn the lesson.
Right. Don't come out here and do the Charlotte Flair booking where it's like, gives you a title shot, you lose, and we'll get it right back to you. Like, is anybody... Why do they treat Charlotte like she's WCW Hogan? You're like, you lose, we got to get it right back to you.
We gonna make it just right for you, brother.
It's like, Hogan was a draw. What is Charlotte ever do? Like, I love Charlotte, but like, no, she's not no draw like that, where you have to get it back to her at all times. No.
There's no evidence of the sort.
None.
It was funny. Dave was on Twitter trying to cape for Charlotte.
I forgot the conversation. I forgot.
Yeah. Speaking of the women's championship, SmackDown women's title, Bayley, who's somehow still a champion, will be defending against Tamina.
Bro, she's been the champion since the first SmackDown of 2000, or the first SmackDown on Fox. Like, so that's October 4th.
Bro,
so she's been champion for like 7 months.
Bro, and then think about, she had the belt before that,
right? At Money in the Bank.
Right.
This is like, so basically, like, aside from like, she's been the champion for like
all but
50,
like
basically like
48
shit. Weeks of a year. Or maybe more, maybe more than that. Maybe like 50 weeks of a full year.
Has there been like a longer, more like nothing title reign? Like, this feels like worse than those Alexa Bliss title reigns. Like,
I feel like they're worse because at least there was the hope of, oh my God, you know, Sasha got the title from her, or Sasha gives it back, or, oh, you know, she won it from Becky. Is Becky going to get it back? Like, the intrigue of like someone super talented is going to get it off of her. And it's like, because of how, you know, messed up and how they just refuse to like run with Naomi or run with Sasha or whatever else, is like, she's talented, but she's working heel and she's facing like these baby faces that are sorry. You know, like, oh, go face Carmella, go face Dana Brooke when she was a babyface at the time, go face Lacey Evans. Is like,
why didn't they put Bianca Belair on fucking SmackDown?
Because the Street Profits are on Raw, and they're a couple, or you know, they're married.
Gotcha.
Montez and Bianca. What they need to do, and you know, like the only reason why the Street Profits have gotten the push that they have is because you can tell that like Heyman likes them. Do you think that Bruce Pritchard would like the Street Profits? Something tells me he would not.
I don't know. I don't know.
But we already got the New Day.
Right.
That's enough.
Right. I like the thing. I would think he would want to have just one of those acts.
Right. Almost like a quote. Never mind.
But yeah, Bayley and Tamina. Tamina time? No.
You know what this is like? You remember Survivor Series 2013?
Oh my
Randy
God,
Orton
Randy
Big Show.
Big Show.
Where it's like, we have a heel. We are just pulling a baby face out of nowhere. And this is basically just to pad the stats. No one actually believes she's going to win, other than the fact that like that person, the baby face is big. The heel's going to win, and we're going to move on with our lives. Like, that's exactly what this is.
Now, I have not watched the show, so I'm being ignorant about this. I'm warning y'all in advance. Has Tamina cut the money promo at all? Has it already happened? Will it happen this week? Will she stand there dominantly and flip the jacket to let Bayley know that she's coming for her?
Okay, so the last promo I remember from Tamina was, I think that was the promo for the very first Women's Money in the Bank match, and it is Carmella. No, this is for the rematch of that, I believe, or one of the two. It's either the first Money in the Bank women's match, or is the one they did a couple weeks later on SmackDown. Basically, what I'm saying is they did a promo where Carmella was in it, and Carmella's a heel, and she's using Ellsworth, and Charlotte said, everybody's saying their lines, everybody's talking right after each other, like polite people, instead of angry athletes that want to kick each other's ass. Anyway, Charlotte says, "You need to be quiet, Carmella, before I make you look like Ellsworth."
Yes.
And then Tamina gets on the mic and says, "Charlotte, you need to be quiet before I make you look like Ellsworth." And people were like, did somebody forget their line? Like, at first, for me, it was like, oh my God, Tamina forgot her line and just repeated what Charlotte said. And then I thought to myself, no, what if Charlotte forgot her line and then used Tamina's line, and then Tamina was like, fuck, and was just, just had to repeat it? Or, I don't know, man. It was just awful. It was one of the most cringe, and I don't really use cringe that often. It was one of the cringiest, moments of WWE in the last 5 years. It makes you just tense up and just like, But that's the last time I remember her talking. You remember her talking since then, bro?
No.
Would you want her to talk after something like that? Unless she has been backstage proving to you that she will not do this? Hey, or are you proving to her that you come up with something better for her to say?
Hey, man, I have. All she got to do is be dominant. That's all she got to do.
God.
Let
is she gonna show up in white? Is she gonna show up in WrestleMania white because it's a title shot?
You know what? She just might. She might pull out a different color for y'all boys. Look, some Money in the Bank pay-per-view. She might pull out green and black.
Okay, put the order for star rating on that match.
0.5.
I'll give it 1.5. I'll give it 1.5.
Okay.
Let's see, what other matches do we have? Oh,
mirror
McIntyre
match
versus mirror match. Yeah, it kind of is a mirror match. It's like, actually, it's more like what's the name of the movie? That was Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito movie. It's Twins.
Oh shit! I don't know what you're talking about, but that's funny.
Yeah,
because there's one big one and one little one.
Right, that's the whole movie from what I remember. So it's McIntyre, Schwarzenegger, and Seth, Danny DeVito, which is very insulting to Seth, but but whatever. It is Vince's type for a man. They're wrestling each other like two dudes with long dark hair and muscles, and they both wear black
beards.
Yes, and beards. Yes. So this is it. I think they're gonna have a good match because their previous matches have all been good too. Obviously, there's no crowd. That's a problem. But I put it at 3.25. My over under. Now I feel like they've done a pretty good job with McIntyre as a babyface, where they're pushing him in a way that I wish they pushed most of their people. Was like, he comes out, he's likable, he whoops ass, and he goes home. It's pretty simple, straightforward. There were times when he was a little, like you were worried they were going to turn him into the champion, and when they always do these champions, they make him like these. They try to make him like some version of Cena. Yeah, like some version of Cena, and they kind of felt like they got away from that after the first week. After they did the Big Show thing, Big Show tape thing or whatever else. So yeah.
I'm waiting for Drew McIntyre at any point to just start telling people, put your hand on the screen. I feel like it's coming if it already hasn't happened.
Well, remember after he beat Brock,
he reached out.
Yes, he pointed. He's like, you. Yes, you. He did do that, Rich. That happened.
Okay, my eyes were not playing tricks on me. But
so, what are there any other matches announced? The tag match.
Well, yeah. Before that,
okay.
I guess I think Seth's a perfect person for him to beat. I kind of see Seth Rollins how I see, ironically, Randy Orton when Seth was the champion. You put him in there, he's got big name, former champion.
Last year with AJ versus Seth too.
Right. Yeah. This is classic booking, and I don't think Seth's going to win. So
no. He has no business money. No.
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and kick him in the face and keep the train rolling.
Right.
For big Drew Mac.
Yeah. I think the other match, I don't know if there's any other matches, but I know.
Yeah. Fatal 4-Way for the SmackDown.
Fatal 4-Way. Yeah, it's the New Day versus not McIntyre. Miz and Morrison versus Lucha House Party versus
Forgotten Sons.
That's right. I
Check this out, James. Apparently, Kofi Kingston did a job for the Forgotten Sons last week.
I wonder who pinned him.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it was Jackson Riker or not.
We'll have to look into that, but I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about you, man. I'm not booking that.
The best part is it's a Fatal 4-Way match. You already know what's going to happen. Two people starting the ring, and then they're going to, and then other people are going to tag in and out while the other's sitting there, as opposed to just like instead of actually being a Fatal 4-Way, there are 4 people in the ring at the same time. Mm-hmm. So that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Probably.
A lot of bodies here, so no rules.
Should be a good match.
Like if I'm
no
them,
rules. Yeah, people are going to sit outside on the apron on tag ropes.
If I'm them, I start trying to pull out all the plunder and just like turn it to a fucking like a real no DQ match, and then try to get over. Like, how about
in front of no crowd?
Look, try to get over.
Try to get over for who? The internet.
The internet. Us. Look, after all these years, no fans in the building. All that. Who you getting over for? Us.
Yeah. Do you have the list up? Is there any other matches? That's it. Okay.
Right now, let's say they're probably going to announce some more stuff this week.
I imagine Sonya and Mandy's going to be on the card. I would hope so, at least.
They've been giving Zelina Vega and her group a lot of time.
AAA.
That's funny.
I mean, AAA, Andrade, Angel, and Austin.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I didn't come up with that. Someone came up with that. Wasn't me.
They should call them AAAZ. Like AAAZ.
Right.
But I'm sure they'll probably add some stuff. Who knows? We'll see what it is. I have no expectations on this show at all. So
what if like the Zelina Vega army like all become disciples of the Messiah, and they all link up and make like a New Age corporate ministry? What if they did that?
Look, man.
I mean, look.
With Paul Heyman in charge.
Hold on. You know that like that is the faction that they're running with right now, and they're always all over Raw right now these last few weeks, especially post WrestleMania. Then you know that like it's like the only person that's talking is Zelina, and you know that like Vince is going to want more than just Zelina being the talker leader of that group. So it's like, how about you just put all those good workers with the dude we actually want to push, and then like we go from there. It's like they already did it with Buddy Murphy. He's on main event, so it's like keep on adding on. I can imagine them coming up with something like that.
Isn't Seth already in his own group?
What I'm saying is this is to expand the group, right? This is expanding the group. This is adding the bottom layer of the pyramid. We got to raise the pyramid up higher. This is a pyramid scheme. So
you're right. I think the only way that works is if they come out and fuck Drew and help Rollins win the belt.
Right.
Which I don't think that's going to be the way they go.
Look, bro, they fucked us worse than this before.
Look, so seeing as how it doesn't make sense, right? That's when they'd probably do it. They'd probably beat Seth and then form the group.
Oh, God.
Where it would be like, well, what the fuck is the point now? Like,
bro, you can come out like 3 minutes earlier than this.
Right. Right.
I mean, look, anything's at play. Like,
anything.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. They're about to have motherfuckers wrestle on top of a roof of a building. Like,
will someone go off the building?
No.
If there were to be somebody that's going off the building, who is it going to be?
Daniel Bryan. Vince been trying to get a nigga out the bitch for years.
And he'd have Corbin throw him off.
Oh God, yes. He absolutely would. And realistic, I mean, they can't tease that, because what they gonna do? They're gonna have him show up and then later in the show, like on some giant shit on Cobo Hall. What they gonna do? Think about it. What they gonna do?
You know what they're probably going to do, since they're starting on the ground floor. Somebody's going to get stuck down there, right? And I think there's going to be somebody that tries to take the elevator or some shit and get up there.
So you mean to tell me? Now keep in mind, Daniel Bryan on one of these promos is mentioned, like, can you use the elevators to go up there? Now, if someone were to actually get left behind and to make it go to the elevator, that would be a great callback. But so now I'm hoping they do it.
Yeah.
Look, that'd be hilarious.
Make this shit as goofy as possible.
Yeah, like, why not? Like, that's the reason why the Undertaker won't work. It was wacky as hell.
Yeah, just don't try to like I don't need y'all to make this serious. I don't need this life and death. Right. You know, I don't need announcers using the Owen Hart voice.
Oh my God.
None of that. Like, this shit needs to be like some self-aware fuckery.
Yeah, like turn into full-on Monty Python or something like that. Make it just, like, just make it goofy as possible, like, and entertain us for like, however long this goes between these two matches or whatever else. I imagine if they're not going to do where they cut in between each match and it's actually a full thing, like, I imagine this thing going like an hour. I can see that.
Yeah. So what else we got?
So another question: are the matches that are not that aren't the Money in the Bank, are these also going to take place on top of the building, or are these going to take, or did they take place inside the building, or are these other matches taking place in the PC?
I don't think they've announced it yet, but it would be cool to see it on top of the building just for the visual.
Right. That's move the designation, or move the, what do you call it? Move out of that building for now and just shoot something else, make it look different. Like, that's the reason why, AEW, seems fresh pretty often, is because, like, these backdrops are different every few weeks.
Yeah.
Well, before No People Gates.
Yeah. Speaking of AEW, is that next on the list?
Yeah. Okay. AEW Dynamite. I thought this was a strong episode. I actually did a full review of it with Floyd, and we talked about a lot of stuff besides just that. But yeah, we went through it. We can go through it again. But yeah. First match is Darby versus Cody. What were your thoughts on the match, Rich? We talked, obviously we can talk about the finish because we all going to talk about the finish, but what were your thoughts on the actual match?
I thought it was the worst match they had together. Okay. Now, I don't say that to indict it or anything. Mm-hmm. It's just, it ranks third. Mm-hmm. We kind of all knew that Cody's going to win. I hated the finish because, like, I don't know if it, I think it was just botched. So, like,
what do you think they were going for?
I think it should. He was going to do like a crucifix or like a rollover to like where he's on top of his legs, and he he catches him and he's done based off the impact. I kind of look at it kind of like the WrestleMania finish where we knew what they were trying to do, but it just didn't, like, it got fucked up in the moment.
Talking about Becky and Ronda?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, it's weird because this whole thing is like, I think it was Rich Fraiche that made the point. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was guys on Everything Elite. So everyone's saying that this thing is like, the story is that he's getting closer to beating Cody, but when you look at it, he's actually getting further away. like he started with the draw, and then he lost, and now he's losing again.
Well, okay, so that's leaving out context. The first one was basically like Rocky. Like, this is Cody is the quote unquote best, and I just want to stay in the ring with the best, and he survived 20 minutes. Then the second one is all he has to do is hit the coffin drop on Cody, and he beats him. But Arn Anderson, but the nigga has a coach, and he says, "Cody, put the knees up. The move is coming," and he gets the knees up, and that's why he loses. And then this time it's like he has Cody at a point of desperation to where he uses the coffin drop on Darby, and Darby's ready for it, and then he goes for his, and then, like, he overshoots it. I guess they're going for an overshoot. I don't know. But basically they're going for, he lands on top of him. Both shoulders are down. Cody's the one that gets his shoulders up. The reason why I hated it was because Cody is the one that gets the impact. He has the wherewithal to get a shoulder off the mat. Darby is the person that hit the damn move, and he's just sitting there on the shoulders like a jackass. And I thought, like, for me, this was like one of the worst babyface losses of the year in all the wrestling that I've seen. Like, the last one I saw that was worse was the Cinderella tournament with Tam getting her ass thrown out after she thought she eliminated somebody that went through the middle rope, and she sat on the apron celebrating for a minute like a jackass. Like, I just like when we talked about earlier about like with Isaiah, like, I have no sympathy. I just don't. Like, maybe my heart's supposed to go out to these people, and that was a reason for it, but it's like, nah, bro. You, like, do not celebrate before you reach the end zone, Deshaun Jackson. Get up, like, get your shoulder off. Like, if Cody had enough wherewithal to get his shoulder off, you can get yours off because you're the one that hit the impacting move on him, not the other way around.
Yeah.
I thought if that's what they were going for, they should have did something similar to, and I talked about this last night, was like a crossbody, and Cody reverses the crossbody, ends up on top of Darby, and Darby is so exhausted he can't get over this bigger dude that's on top of him. There was nothing stopping Darby from getting a shoulder up. It was just, I just thought the man looked lame.
Yeah. And they were clearly doing this to, like,
protect him.
So, but it feels like it kind of backfired. But now,
I mean, I wish we were in front of a crowd to see how they would react to it, because I'm like that. I'm thinking how I think. Like, if other people rock with it, then it is what it is. It's fine.
Yeah. Now going forward, Cody and Darby. You know, there are a lot of people upset about Darby losing this here. He was always going to lose.
Right
here.
Right.
It was me. Now that Cody is, like, you know, skated out, the next time Cody has to cheat to beat him. Like, it almost like hands in the cookie jar. Like, he knows he cheated. You know he cheated, but he won't, like, admit it or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I think that would be the way to go. Everyone would be more furious. Like, oh, so now you had to low blow this man, or he had to pull the tights or whatever to win or something like that.
Yeah,
you pulled the tights. Like, what are you doing, Cody? And then someone's going to ask him about it and then be like, you know, he's like, I'm competing, you know, I'm a competitor. And then eventually the next time when they set up, Cody's like, I did that shit on purpose, and he attacks Darby Allin, lays him the fuck out, whatever, turns, and then Darby beats him. That's what I'm thinking. But
it's coming. Like Cody.
Oh, you can see it,
yeah,
right?
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
How far away? I don't know, but I feel like, you know, that's some months from now. Like, I would, if I were them, I have Cody win this thing. I have Cody be the champion for a while, and then I eventually build to Darby versus Cody for the NXT, the TNT title match, and that's when I, you know, possibly do something like that. But, like, I don't think they need to wrestle each other for a while now.
Like 6 months. Like, I would
something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like, I would book this at, you know, presumably like Full Gear or All Out.
Yeah, that
Full
makes
Gear.
Sense. Right.
Full Gear. How about that? And then, like,
right.
they can come back at, you know, Revolution next year or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Cody wins, moves on. After that, more Scorpio Sky personality profile piece.
What you think of it?
It's like, I like the first one, you know, first week, but I like the fact that, like, it's like a consistent thing. Like, hey, we showed you a little bit about him this week. Now we're going to show you a little bit more next week. And then, you know, next week it's just like maybe he'll end up getting in some matches here because, I mean, if you think about it, he is the obvious choice to go single out of the group. You know, right. Frankie's in his 40s.
Even
Daniels
though, like, Daniels is having a match next week, right?
Frankie Kazarian's having a match, I believe, with Moxley, I think.
Okay.
So, they, but it's obviously him. So, I mean, that's good. So, hopefully, you know.
I mean, the whole idea of the tournament was to make him the breakout star to eventually, after they lose the titles, break him out. It's just, you know, this happened, and I don't know if they got lost in the tracks because there was so much going on with, you know, the War Games build and with, you know, the Brit stuff. I don't know if I almost felt like he had kind of got lost of is he going to break out now that, like, they're not the tag champs anymore? And now they're back to it, and, you know, good for them that they didn't just totally forget it, and they were like, remember this shit a few months ago? And you're like, oh yeah, it's too late now. So at least they got back to it.
So you got to see how he did all those worst town shit.
Oh my god! Did I ever tell you the story the first time I ever heard that shit? Yeah, like it was actually the All In pre-show, and he's like, "This is the worst town," and the crowd goes, "I've ever been in." And I was like, "Wait, what? What? Why would the crowd cheer for this shit?"
Yeah,
this makes no sense. And then they had the match, and he was great in the match. So I was like, okay. And then I remember Caleb told me, he's like, "Remember?" It's like I was like, "How come this dude never?" Man, he's like, "Well, there's some stuff going on," but I remember he was Harold in the Anger Match. Like, that's Harold? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
long time ago.
That was a long time ago. That's still one of my favorite non-wrestling segments in WWE history.
So we got an update from MJF at the Rats Mansion.
Shut up, Harold. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. He said he shaved his neck while shaving. He put on a neck brace, just more MJF assholishness.
When did you realize he had a neck brace on, or he had something underneath the neck, underneath the scarf? When did you realize it?
I don't even think I really paid attention. I might have been looking at my phone or something.
The second I saw, I was like, "What's underneath this man's scarf? What is he hiding?" And then it made me think of the Cody thing during whatever Starcast or Starcast adjacent thing they were doing before Revolution, where he's hiding, he's in the pictures with Floyd and Young Bucks, and he's wearing a scarf,
smiling,
on his neck, and he has this look like, I know something you don't know. So, but yeah, I think they're funny. And I thought it was real because he pretends to be he's basically doing one of these, pretending to jerk off also. Right. I'm letting down the fans by not going to Georgia and wrestling in front of 6 of my peers. He's big time. He's such an asshole. So yeah, he'll be back next week, right?
Yeah.
What do you think he's gonna do? Do you think he's basically gonna be like, "I want a title shot, Moxley"?
I think he's gonna go for Jon Moxley.
Do you think that's gonna be TV, or do you think that's actually gonna be what they do with pay-per-view?
I think double or nothing. Okay. I have to look at the rankings and see, but he hasn't lost anyone, so maybe he gets a couple wins to keep him going. But after that, we got.
I think it's either him or Jericho, and either one of them need to be on TV and catch some, get some pinfalls to set this up.
Jericho's in a match next week, so
right.
He's in that tag match, but we got
the gods.
Correct. The War Dog, Wardlow.
Jesus.
Against Musa.
Yeah. Telling you, bro, look at the cheeseburger influence, man. It's there, bro.
Age.
It's apparent.
The golden age.
Look what this man has birthed.
Yeah, big needed face, F10.
Yeah.
The War Dog.
Where is the War Trigger on your list of favorite moves in wrestling right now?
Man, it's high. It's high.
You only seen 2 of them, right?
Yeah, it's man, you would think about it, it's bro, this is a GTS, but way more devastating. It's
the most dominant V-trigger you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. Man, I hope no one kicks out of that one,
Yeah, I love the squash matches. Just more of those, please. Obviously, there's going to be not too many more, but I want one every 2 to 3 weeks, and then and then he'll give him a match with somebody that he could have actually go with some length with to give him some experience on how to go longer. Give him someone like a Trent Beretta or whatever, or Trent question mark, whatever the hell you want to do with his name.
Mm-hmm.
Do that or whatever else. Have him in some match with some good people.
T.
I feel if I put him in the ring with Chucky T, I feel he should get Chucky T the fuck out of there just as fast as yeah. So I'm kind of but if you want to do that, sure. Have him basically do the pack and have him go through all 3 best friends. Why not?
Then they had the Bubbly Bunch joint, so they did another one of these videos or whatever, real funny. I popped when I saw Soul Train Jones.
I popped when I saw Lou Ferrigno.
I did also. I was like, is that Lou Ferrigno? Yep, it is him. Ted Irvine was in it.
Yep.
Kevin Smith, all the Inner Circle,
Jason Mewes,
Vicky Guerrero.
That's right. That's where it ended.
At the end. Yep.
I have is excuse me trademarked? Has to be, right?
Look, if she doesn't have it trademarked,
no, I mean by WWE.
Oh, I'm not sure
because she didn't say it. And like that's kind of her thing is to say it, so it made me think like I'm assuming that is trademarked. By WWE.
I believe she said it when she did commentary on AEW Dark when she came out.
Okay,
and I think she still can say it.
Okay,
so,
you gotta remember what brought you to dance.
Yeah,
you know.
Then Best Friends have a match with Jimmy having Kip Sabian, Plunder Brawl. And with all the weapons and just a goofy weapons match. I was kind of bored until Trent started taking bumps on a ladder, and I thought the match was awesome after that.
I thought the same thing. Like it's just there. I'm like whatever, and then he takes that bump. Like you fucking idiot. And then like the match got good from that point. I don't know. Maybe it's just like my eyes glazed over to people just hitting each other with shit and had no chance of anybody winning doing it. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was.
Yep. So that was a cool match, and they talk about Orange Cassidy being one of the great managers in wrestling, and I forgot what Jericho said.
Yeah, Jericho almost lost it on Shivani when he said he's like, what? Wait, what? How fucking dare you? Yeah, and like he kind. I mean, I don't know if he has a point, but like it was interesting to think about for a second.
Britt Baker had another role model video package.
Yes.
Very funny.
Yes.
With Rebel formerly of TNA. She's one of the AEW makeup artists legitimately. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she still has pro wrestling abilities, like as far as like being in front of the camera. So Britt just adds to the list of
it was.
All right, am I voting for Britt Baker for best on interviews this year? Like so far, like is this what I'm doing right now?
Well, hold on, give me a second. Britt Baker, Asuka, Daniel Bryan, Moxley. Those are the ones that immediately come to mind.
Yeah, like Britt looking good through 5 months. So
yeah.
Britt said not everyone can be a role model. People who wear glasses can unless they're a doctor. Fat people can't be role models. People with snaggle teeth can't.
Yes, the best part is like Photoshop. They Photoshop fat onto Shivani, and then took it all and made the picture what it was, and then they added an extra tooth to Shivani's teeth. It's like, damn, bro, like
she must have been pissed at him. Like, bro, I know you didn't see it, but like it was like on the road to joints. Like Brandy was in the office with Shivani. So she's doing like the weekly like kind of talent check-ins or whatever, and then they call Britt, and then Britt sees that Tony is there with her, and she like kind of rushes through the conversation or whatever, right? And then you know how Skype is. If someone sends you a message, it'll pop up in the upper right-hand corner or some shit.
Yeah.
Britt immediately begins blowing them up. Two-Face and Brandy like immediately like saying a whole bunch of shit, sends them like 30 messages, whatever, tries to FaceTime them and everything, and Brandy's still standing right there. She's like, oh, looks like that's a problem, like something like that. It's just hilarious. So maybe this is why Britt was so mean to Tony this week.
And
so
Floyd mentioned that on the show last night. I didn't peep it, but now he explained it like it makes more sense, because I was like, I don't remember this shit that happened on the show. I've watched the show, I don't remember that, but yeah, you're saying it happened on BTE, then or Dark or whatever. So I who would have thought, right? Who would have thought we would have gotten to this point with Britt this quick? Who would have thought?
Yeah, there were a couple guys saying don't give up on Britt. During the end of last year.
Who would that be?
One Nation Radio.
Oh, yeah, I mean, y'all are too hard on her or whatever else. It's like, yeah, I understand. She's just a dentist. I get it, and they're presenting her wrong. I get it, but bro, I've seen her in person. Like, trust me, it's there. Like, we got that sheet. I mean, we have the match with Riho from last year. We do have the sheeted match from a few weeks ago. But it's like
Trust your boys.
Just wait. Like,
trust your boys.
Yeah, I don't mean like she's gonna be some super worker, like she's gonna all of a sudden be like, you know, like freaking, I don't know, like Shishiro Hashimoto or anything like that, but she is a good wrestler that just didn't have that many dates, and you see what she can do if you let her have a match, and there you go. And you see how well she's doing on the mic right now. So, I mean, I don't know where this is going to land her eventually. Like, right now, she feels like the top star in the women's division, and she clearly is the number 2 contender. Like, maybe they're setting the path for, you know,
somebody to get the belt off
Sheeta to
Nyla.
be the champion, and then Britt gets it off of, you know, goes into feuding with Sheeta. I don't know, but I do really want, like, for, you know, Nyla to come back and, like, you know, bring that back. I want to see her squash somebody. Since since AEW has now became the place to go for squash matches, I want to see I want to see one of her squashes. Besides the Leva Bates one, I want to see another one.
Then speaking of squashes, we had 2 back-to-back. Sean Spears beat Baron Black. Sean Spears, this man is like, man, maxing out on dates. You know, this man's on every show. You know,
who's been on more shows, him or Suge D?
And Suge D's only sitting in the crowd, so
okay, fair enough.
But it might be even if you count that as being on the show. I
was kind of that way, but like, when you get down to matches, you're probably right.
Then we had Brody Lee and Marco Stunt.
Oh my god,
man! I thought I thought the Archer one was actually a lot better than this one.
Really?
But it was still good, but it wasn't. Like, I thought it would be better.
I fucking loved this squash match. I don't know why, but to me, it was like everything I want a squash match. Is like, you want to give somebody people that actually like, give them a couple spots or whatever else, but in the meantime, just beat the shit out of him. Like, he chopped the shit out of his little kid. He threw him around. I thought it worked really well. Like, I thought it was a great match. I thought it was a great squash match, personally.
Yeah, I wonder who Marco's eventually going to roll up, like the 1, 2, 3 kid.
Sean Spears. It's gonna be like Sean Spears.
I mean, hey, does he have to face the War Dog next?
Ooh, yeah, probably.
You know,
probably.
Yeah,
he's gonna get that man a F20.
Correct. Out the ring. You know.
So it's gonna be like who was it that teased they were gonna swing somebody out of the ring? Didn't Kenny and what's her name? Kenny and the 9-year-old girl in Stardom, didn't they tease like he was gonna swing her out of the ring?
He teased that he was gonna gorilla press slam her out of the ring.
Okay.
And then that was the finish. Like, no man, you can't do this.
Right. That's when they hit the time limit. It was like a 5-minute time limit or whatever. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. They could tease that like do like this like the Cesaro swing. Like the big swing.
Oh man!
And then like tease like you're gonna swing his ass out like over the top rope onto the floor. Like you could do that. He could do that with Marco. Marco's little, bro.
Oh man! Oh, Moxley cut a nice promo. He was walking around, had the belt always on display. It's one thing Taz brought up. The AEW post game shows that are out with Ross, Excalibur, and Taz are really good after the shows. They kind of feel like they got this element of like talking smack to it, like where they're kind of blending in like, you know, just all off stories kind of about whatever's like about an hour long. Those are pretty good. I've been watching those recently. Then, you know, he said he's going to be live next week. He said he's going to throw some CDs in the trunk. So Moxley, you know, staunch, you know, anti-streaming, you know, apparently this man's pulling out the CD discs for you boys.
Look, you say what you want to, but this is absolutely a step up from when we used to think this man was out here hitchhiking everywhere he went, like a vagrant.
This man has his own truck now.
He has his
that
own
Tony
truck.
Khan, look, that Tony Khan, you know, coming in handy. Look, we assumed that man traveled, you know, city to city like a nomad.
Yes.
Previously.
Yes. That man is relying on getting from place to place based off the kindness of strangers. The original drifter.
Who knew? Yeah. So it's got to be Jericho or MJF, right?
I imagine so. I can't imagine anyone else.
Yeah.
Now they can get Pac out of or into the States, right?
Yeah, and I'm not blowing Kenny. I think Kenny's number 2
You
in the
gotta save
rankings.
that. You gotta save that.
Yeah,
he needs to go. Where is the Hangman? Like, the Hangman needs to show his ass out so he can defend these tag titles. That's what really needs to go down.
So the Hangman, I believe he's one of those staunch, like, he's not showing up. Like, he's like under this, joints. Because I've checked the Hangman's Twitter and some of his likes and everything like that. So Hangman's on that One Nation Radio plan, like, stay your ass in the house. So all
right, well then, if that's the case, we got to figure out what to do with Kenny then.
Yeah. Maybe he gets a makeshift tag team partner and defends the belts against the Best Friends or something.
Oh God, I don't want that. Because the second they do that, then what's going to happen? We'll look at Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah, that will happen. I don't know. I mean, we could call Alan Angels back and be like,
make him the tag partner.
Either that or have the rematch, at Double or Nothing.
Don't do that.
Kenny Omega, Alan Angels, Part 2.
Can you imagine, like, Kenny left New Japan. What's he doing on one of these AEW pay-per-views? He's wrestling who? You left out of G. You decided to voluntarily leave G1 season for this? Beg your pardon? Like, nah, bro. It can't be it. It's got to be something bigger. Now, do you know where I got that I beg your pardon from?
What?
Umar Johnson.
Oh my God.
Google
it.
I said his name and I damn sure ain't call him no doctor. Hell no.
Then they announced Kenny and Matt Hardy against the Sex God or Lay Sex Gods for next week in a street fight. So, yeah, I contend that Matt Hardy is nowhere near the strangest tag team partner that Kenny Omega's had.
Well, yeah. Not even the strangest one he's at in AEW. Maybe that's what they actually do. Like, they run Nakazawa versus Omega. Nakazawa and Omega tag partners. Maybe that's what they do.
Like, his best friend step in and be like, hey, Mike, we need you to pull your head out your ass and actually work.
No, you know what's going to happen. They're going to have Jericho go out and here wrestle old Lube Boy over there. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh man,
they're gonna have Jericho tussle with this greased up dude. That's what they about to do. Jericho don't care. Jericho like, fine, I'll do it. I don't give a shit. Whatever.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that match.
Yeah, we'll see. You know what I would like to see? I would like to see the match end with Chris Jericho like slapping the old school lion tamer on Michael Nakazawa until he taps the fuck out. That's what I would like.
It's Matt Hardy.
Oh, that's right. Fuck, that's right. Damn. Oh, is it on the compound or is it actually?
No, it's street fight in the building, I assume.
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no idea. I don't know how to judge any.
Yeah, I have no idea what. Like,
can we get like? Do we know if we're going to get like normal Matt Hardy or are we going to get like broken Matt Hardy? Do we know one way or the other?
We don't. That's the beauty of it.
The beauty. Okay. All right, guy. All right.
That was a parody line, by the way.
Who knows what we get?
But then we got our main event: Lance Archer versus Dustin Rhodes, and man.
The last 5 minutes were good.
Yeah. I was watching this match, and I am a noted Dustin Rhodes fan, have been for a long time.
Why did they go 24 minutes? Or 23 minutes? They went over 20 minutes in that match, because the bell rang at like 9:36 or some shit like that.
I guess, who's gonna cut a Rhodes this time? Here?
Oh God!
And that's when I started thinking these Rhodes family antics, like this bleeding, the overabundance of outside shit, the the Nightmare family, everything that has to do with it. It's like, yo, when I watch AEW,
exactly, go, do it.
The stuff that attracts me to AEW, Kenny Omega,
right?
The Young Bucks,
right?
The Lucha Brothers,
right?
Hangman Page, Chris Jericho, fucking Sammy, fucking SCU, Luchasaurus, and those guys. Well, and Pac with Lucha Brothers, and then and some of the monsters they brought in. I like the monsters that they have. Yeah, Lance Archer. They've got Brody Lee now. I am getting tired of the NWA cosplay ass Rhodes matches, the Rhodes family antics. A couple weeks ago, I've come on this show and I've told people to give Brandy just like a break, and she had to hit that spear for what reason, I don't know. She's kind of had to get interjected into the match. Dustin's rolling around, laying there for forever and ever and ever, bleeding, and it's just like so over dramatic, so early into the match. It's like, this is not what I want to watch in AEW. Like, I guess
they did it in front of no fans to react, to actually add to the tension of the crowd being concerned that the dude's bleeding. It was just like, oh, he's bleeding. Oh, wait, the bleeding has stopped, and now he just still like has the blood from when he bled, plus like his face paint, and I don't know what's what now. So, so it looks like to me like he stopped bleeding now.
And they're just like, I think they're doing it too much. Like, they're going to like the blood angles. Like, there's nobody, it seems like, that's going to put the Rhodes folks on leashes out here. And it's like, they're going to get a half hour to do this match. They're going to inject this, like, I don't know, man. You know what I'm trying to say. Folks listening know what I'm trying to say.
It's exhausting. They keep doing it over and over.
And it's just like, and I think it's going to be diminishing returns.
Right.
And
that's the point.
I feel like it's already diminished.
That's the reason why they stopped doing so much bleeding and stopped all that stuff in WWF, is because everybody wanted to do juice on every fucking pay-per-view. And when you do juice that often, the juice means less. Like, I understand juice equals green or whatever you ECW fucks like to say it is, or because you want to see people bleed, but like, there is a point of you doing it tastefully and then it goes too far. And for me, I don't know if we're there yet, but it seems like if you keep going this way where Cody bleeds almost every big match, Dustin bleeds every big match he ever has, Moxley bleeds in almost every big match he has in AEW, Kenny has bled already. How many people we did a blood angle, or sorry, this wasn't on purpose, but
Matt Jackson,
Britt gets her nose busted open. Matt Jackson underneath the bay door. Or sorry, Nick Jackson underneath the bay door. How much blood do you need on this show or on this product?
Yeah, and it's not so much even the blood. It's like the blood to add the purposeful blood for your matches,
right?
Like to help assist you, like in whatever you're doing. Like if you catch a hard way or whatever,
that's one thing.
I feel like that's different. Like
I agree.
with Mox, with Britt. I'm not sure if Kenny caught a hard way or not, but I don't remember which was it. The him and Moxley.
They both bled in that match. They both bled.
Pay-per-view main event. I can write that off.
Yeah, and it was like, I mean, like, you knew it. The second it's a lights out match, and you know what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is just ultimately like I don't know if it's it just feels like it's having less effect, and then I'm just rolling my eyes at like the style of wrestling that Dustin is bringing, and then by extension, like whatever's going to happen with Cody in this final against Lance Archer, like what's he going to have to do to beat Cody? Is like, I understand, when he went through the hell with the lashes and all that, and it felt like
the lashing's part of that too. That like
it was great. I thought the lashing was great.
Right. But I'm saying, like, the lashing also like fits into this box of the quote unquote hyper violence. Like that fits into it too with the blood. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying like they've done it well and they've done it less well other times. But the thing is, they do it a lot, or they do it probably more than they should, and they should probably reel that in before they like start numbing their fan base to this.
And there's a literal history in their family, their father blowing through all these like angles so fast to where it's like there's nothing left. It's exhausting, and then it's just like, oh, here they come to like, what's gonna bust them open this time? What is he gonna slip on and his wig gets split? It's just like it's getting old.
Yeah. So another thing is like, okay, so in the semifinal, they made someone bleed to set up the heat for the final. So, gee, I wonder if someone bleeds in the final, Rich.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you on too much blood. And the thing for me was like, I even posted in the Facebook thread of the discussion thread for the show, that episode, and it was like the second he kicked that chair, and it bounced off of Dustin's head, I was like, if he comes up bleeding, ... And sure enough, I'm like, God damn it! I knew this is exactly what they went to do. It's like, why? I get it, but like, why do you think that's a good idea for right now? And you did it that early in the match, and you're about to go another 15 fucking minutes after bleeding. It's like, that's okay, and in front of no crowd.
And a lot of people like this. I'm not going to tell y'all, but this is just for me. What I'm saying,
it's a taste thing.
And usually, what happens on these things is, I like to joke about it, but it's like always ahead or whatever. They're going to keep doing this. And then what's going to happen is by the time All Out comes, it's going to hit everyone else. Like, yo, they're doing this again. And by that time, I'm going to just be furious. Just like,
where were y'all?
360 dunking on everything that has to do with it. And it's going to be like, now when they try it with someone else, if they try it with someone else, because, their last name isn't Rhodes, so they might not, be afforded such creative luxury. How's that work for them by that point? So
then it turns to a thing of like escalation. It's like you bleed, like if you bleed in the main event and then you start bleeding in the semi-main event, then how long before you start bleeding second from the top and then third from the top, and then next thing you know, everybody's bleeding except for like the first two fucking matches of cards. I don't want that, and obviously I know that's a slippery slope fallacy, but it's like, there's so much history that points to, if you start this is where it will be taken to, and you look at all these other promotions, including the biggest wrestling promotion ever in this country.
Yeah. WCW, everybody. Yeah, but and like you said, at very end of the match, like it started, picking up, and it got really good. Of course, right. Archer did, that roadblock moonsault, eat your heart out, Undertaker. Dustin fired up at the end, and actually, was wrestling, and they put together like some cool at the end of the match. And
yes,
of course, Cody had to run out and do his little towel gimmick because he's dedicated to returning towel throwing to wrestling, going back to Dominion 2017. Now he doesn't want to throw a towel. I see how you are. Look, I haven't forgot. This has always been a heel.
Oh man,
letting his own brother get beat on like this. This is a bad guy.
I didn't bring it up last night, but after the towel got taken from him, and then the claw got put on Dustin, and they cut to Britt, who we forgot to mention this.
Oh yeah, she clocked that man too.
She clocked that man early in the night during the Derby match with the heel, because it's a heel using a heel. Get it? So they cut back to Britt and says, Britt, he's like, he should have threw the towel in. That's his brother. That's his blood. And I was like, Britt's the best. She's so shitty. like think about if you're Cody. Like, you made the decision to let your brother do what he wanted, and end up leaving him get really hurt, and he feels bad, and then you have this asshole over the sideline with an earshot talking about how you're a shitty brother for letting it happen. It's like just adding on to the pain. Like, it's just so great.
Yeah. So Archer gets to win. Him and Cody at Double or Nothing, and I think he's going to have to get a shotgun, to beat Cody at this point.
I would have Cody win. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know how they're gonna get up there, but like, I'm tired of fucking Cody being positioned the way he's been positioned, and he loses big matches. It's time to get off the schneid. So yeah, this is his time to win. It's it's his turn, damn it. So yeah, that's where I'm in on it, and I hope they have a really good match, and I hope they decide not to blade.
Like, I almost would be. All right, let's think about, has there been a Cody match where they haven't bladed? I believe as far as pay-per-views.
Pay-per-view?
I know there've been a
bladed
few.
at Full Gear.
Right.
I'm sorry, Revolution.
I don't think
he got hard weighed. He got hard weighed at at Full Gear against Jericho. And like, the thing is, it happened so early that I thought that this idiot did it on purpose, but it was actually a hard way.
Right.
Not every pay-per-view's bled, or there has been bleeding in every Cody match on pay-per-view.
What about Spears? I don't remember on that one.
Oh, you're kind of the BR Live ones?
Well, All Out was a pay-per-view.
Oh, that was All Out. I don't think so. I think he just dispatched him. So he's basically he's 3 for 4 for bleeding.
And we know they was bleeding at Double or Nothing, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm starting to get just like, if you're wrestling still and bleeding and all that, like, that's cool. But it's like, if you're just like laying there, like doing nothing, just getting fucking destroyed, and you're bleeding the whole time, it's just a soul suck after a while.
I think the reason why I stood out for me so much in this match is like, it's for the crowd. Mm-hmm. This is for the audience at home to bleed like this. I'm like, I feel like it'd be a lot more effective if it's one of these things where it's like, yes, we all know that all wrestling is more effective in front of a crowd, but there are certain things that and styles and things that you do that are meant to draw the the house audience, which is then supposed to help you at home get into it further. And bleeding is one of those things where it's like, it's more effective if it's in front of a actual audience. So for me, that kind of stuck out. But like, I definitely agree with you when it comes to like, they're doing too much blood.
Yeah, and just that style, like, I think, it's gonna
sit down and pound, not ground and pound, sit down and pound.
Yeah. So what's next on the
NXT. We're gonna breeze through this. You say you actually watched NXT this week, which is like,
I did. What got into me?
Damn this virus. So NXT starts off with a match of the Cruiserweight tournament. It's Swerve versus Phantasma. They had a match where it's like, wow, Swerve is like one of the best wrestlers in the world, and Phantasma, who is billed as such as well, is just a guy. This is his second match. Both times he has been thoroughly unimpressive. I thought this dude was great. Maybe they're still bottling it. Maybe he is being taught how to work. I don't know what's going on with Phantasma. What do you think of this match?
I mean, he's older. You can throw that in to, that. And I think he's eventually going to be, he's got a storyline that he's going to be getting into. It kind of seems like, I thought Swerve was awesome. In this.
So Swerve ends up picking up the win, and then he cuts a promo saying that like, I lost the first match of this thing, and I'm not done. So he's 1-1, and Phantasma's 1-1 as well, but he has the tiebreaker over Phantasma, obviously. And then they cut a commercial break, they come back, and they show Phantasma kind of recuperating after the loss out by the ringside area, by the barricades, and then the goons that normally run up and, snatch people after failing to snatch him either last week or 2 weeks ago, tried it again inside the building. He ran the ass off again. So this is ongoing thing. This is
unbelievable. So like, WWE,
how they get in the building?
Exactly. They've locked this building up. They're supposed to be were their temperatures even checked, James?
No.
So like, where did these dudes just come from? I can understand if they were in the parking lot.
Hold on. Of course they ain't taking their pictures at the door. Real niggas just pull up.
So normally they're in the NXT parking lot. I can kind of live with that, but it seems like there's too many things they gotta, get past before they break out to the ring. There, like who are these dudes, man? Like,
who left the door open for them?
Correct. There you go. Now you're thinking.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There's no one that left the door open for them. They didn't think of that. Whatever. So then they cut to a Dijak promo where he is basically walking the Full Sail campus during the daytime in a t-shirt, dressed like John Cena or The Rock when The Rock goes to sell some F-150s. And he basically says, Johnny been doing a lot of talk, but that's all he's been doing is talking lately. And we'll see how tough he is when he... Think of this, what this babyface line is. We'll see how tough he is when he has to face somebody twice his size. Who gave him that fucking dumb ass line? Jesus. Go ahead, Rich.
They called this man short.
Yeah, yes, he called him short, but he's like, we'll see how tough the bad guy is when he faces somebody twice his size. And I say that as me, the good guy. Like, you aren't a bully yourself, you jerk. Anyway.
I don't think that, being small and meek is bad, in the WWE. If you're big, like Hulk Hogan,
I would be saying in the WWE because we got some people that's running our AEW podcast that thinks the same thing. So I would be so quick to talk about small people don't,
Well,
because
Floyd has been radicalized by Vince in that thinking for 30 years.
Floyd is on that Randy Newman. Sure, P forgot. No reason. I'm not gonna finish the rest. So then they go to Casey Catanzaro versus Candice LeRae. Candice comes out first. New music. It is generic. It stinks. And they have changed her name from being the pint-sized Pixie, which is something they started running with over the last few months, to she is now the Poison Pixie. Now, are you familiar? I know you don't really watch cartoons or whatever, but are you familiar with Disney movie and Peter Pan and Tinkerbell?
Yes.
Do you remember Tinkerbell being anything poisonous? Do you remember ever hearing anything of a heel Tinkerbell? Because I don't.
No.
Yeah. Whatever. We'll see what they do. She comes out. She almost has like the Bailey starter kit of like having indie gear that looks nice, but is basically for a generic heel. She comes out.
Tells me that this probably just got put together, and this wasn't like no advanced thing where she could get like, when EO came out, the next time you saw her, she was in like the best ring gear I've ever seen her in. Right now, Candice, I don't detect the same energy.
Right. Because I imagine if giving Candice imagination to some of the gear she's worn in the past, I imagine if you give her a chance and some time, the gear she will come out with for, let's say, a takeover or something or a big match as a heel, it will look similar to like some of the fonts you would have seen from like the Suicide Squad movie from a few years ago. But we'll see what they come up with. But anyway, she comes down to the ring. Johnny is with her. Johnny is basically putting her over as she is the best wrestler in the world, which I find hilarious, but whatever. Best wrestler in the world, and she's coming, but not, she is not doing the talking. Johnny's doing the talking for her, which makes me think like, we are right to think that like she is not a good promo because they are hiding her from being a promo aside from that one time.
I like Johnny Gargano as a manager. We can go ahead and just
Johnny manage.
Johnny Manager.
Johnny managing. Let's see. Oh, yeah, so they have the match. And the weird thing about this match is Candice has the advantage. She works like the bigger person in the match, but she's not necessarily working heel in the match until after the match, right? Like
she Candice LeRae big woman offense.
Yeah, I was bringing that up. She's out here throwing her around. This is like watching Shawn Michaels versus 1-2-3 Kid. This was basically what this is like. Like I've been wanting to break out some of this for my whole life, my whole career. And she ends up winning she has a new move. She's no longer doing the Cape Rada finish because that's too flashy. She is basically doing like a arm assisted curb stomp where she lifts somebody up by both arms and then stomps them into the ground. Got the pin. She leaves the ring with Johnny, and then halfway up the ramp, she turns around and she decides to put Casey into the Gargano escape, and then she lets go eventually. They cut away. We end up getting a Damian Priest promo to hype up the main event match. It's pretty much a cut-up of stuff he said a few weeks before. Then we end up getting Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher in basically a game show that resembles like the Newlywed Show. And the host is Byron Saxton, who comes down and it was like, oh wow, this is such a rib because like you know how they think about him. He's basically like playing Wayne Brady.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that, but it makes so much sense.
I did. To his credit,
he owns that shit.
He did. Like, he absolutely played it up.
If it's somebody like I would shake that man's hand and be like, great job,
bro.
Keep getting their money. Like if they want you to do this and whatever, like I can't get mad at Byron Saxton.
The suit he wore was so shiny that it either had to be from out of Puff Daddy's 90s wardrobe or it had to be from the Platinum Fubu collection. One of the two. There is no if, answer, buster in between. Those are the only two places you can find fabric that damn shiny. Where else can you find it that shiny?
Bro,
exactly.
You can't go to Michael's and find nothing like that. You can't. You can't just roll up to the the arts and crafts store and be like, let me get that. You have to get that custom made.
Yes. So they're basically Thatcher is playing the straight man, which is funny because like he's basically filling in and doing the same stuff that like Pete Dunne was doing before, where he's like, I'm just the person that is like the normal person dealing with the wackiness of Riddle, and they're asking these questions like, I don't know these questions, and then like he would say something like, I don't know, and then the answer would be written down by Riddle is like, I don't know, exactly right. I know you don't know because we were such a great pair, bro. So they did a bunch of that, and then all of a sudden Imperium comes out. Eichner and Bartel, and they laid both of them out. They did this spot where they laid out Riddle by throwing him over the barricade into the concrete. The thing is, right, they lifted him up and threw him away. In the camera shot, you couldn't see the floor, but you could hear he land into a crash pad, and then either Morrow or Beth sold it as like, oh, right into the concrete. I was like, you can hear the pass noise. What? Come on.
So there
was, you
was
gotta edit that out. Help them out.
There was so much like goofy shit in this segment. I was like, oh my god, Matt Riddle is doomed. The second Vince like finds out about this and learns, he's gonna get all the goofy comedy.
Oh, because he's like, oh, it's like the same thing with Ambrose, like,
yes.
Owens was like, oh my god, he has comedic wit. I'm going to do all the jokey jokes with him. Yeah, you're right.
Saw that, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, you're right.
But Imperium wasn't about none of them jokes because they literally came out dressing all black,
right,
and rolled up and was like, yeah, and that finish that they gave, I think it was Thatcher.
Yes, Thatcher. Yeah, they gave it Thatcher because they took out Riddle with the concrete crash pad.
I loved it. Like it was like a doomsday device, but it was like a European uppercut or something. Yeah.
Like I mean, they're gonna have a great tag match when they get together. Those four. I don't know when that's coming. They didn't say it was next week because I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming next week. We'll get to it, but whenever it comes, it's gonna be great. So. After that, they showed a Make-A-Wish video package, and then they show a Adam Cole promo on Velveteen, basically saying the same stuff he was saying about him for weeks. Like, you don't deserve a title shot, but you know what? You beat me last week on this a fluke, but I'll give you a title shot next week. So Velveteen's going to be on air next week.
I don't know.
Yeah,
you look, hey, y'all seen that conceited meme where he looks away? That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, so... then we end up getting Charlotte
7000.
Charlotte 7000. What's that?
That's like her ratings draw nickname.
Oh, God. Okay. So, we get Charlotte versus Mia. Okay. Mia throughout this entire... Okay, the match starts. Charlotte puts her in a headlock. Then out-wrestles her. Then whoops her ass with chops. Then, like, Mia basically only has the advantage in this match for like 5 seconds at a time. It's never for any sustained amount of time. It's more or less like, I hit a counter, I got separation, I hit another move, I'm going to for a third move, I get cut off, I'm now back working underneath again. She got, what would you say, 10, 15% of offense in the offense in the entire match?
She hit her finish on Charlotte. Charlotte didn't even bump for it. She no-sold that shit.
Well, okay, to be fair, she changed from the soul food to the knee one.
To protect your neck?
Yeah. Like, remember, she used to do the foot, now it's the
foot.
Knee.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so gotcha. it's I get what you're saying, but it's a signature move now. She didn't bump for a signature move. Yeah, she just thoroughly dominated Mia and then got the win. It was a good match, but it was like, yo, if this is what they're going to do with her in NXT, then I wish they had not done this. Like, the idea was to try to, quote unquote, keep her hot and / elevate the talent. If you're just going to mow through Mia like this, then I already know what you're going to do to Io next week. They might have a competitive match, or they might not.
If they blow that match next week, my God, this is going to give everybody a lot of answers to what exactly this Charlotte thing is going to be. And it's going to give, the folks that like to defend stuff a lot to defend.
Yeah. Look, here's the thing. It's a 3-star match to me, but this cannot be what they do with her. Like, Mia is a mid-carder in NXT, the person that can get a title shot from time to time. Or she's an upper mid-carder in that division. I don't think she should be just dispatching upper mid-carders like this. I really don't.
Yeah. I bet Charlotte has, Vince probably told Hunter she's going over strong at all costs or whatever. But and then...
Yeah, but you can go over strong without just doing that, because it wasn't a squash match. It was semi-competitive. That's what I was playing. It was a semi-competitive match. Like, there was no doubt on who the better person was throughout the whole match. It's also a heel that is no doubt the more competitive person. And, she barely did any selling.
Points the whole game.
Huh?
She was leading by 10 points the whole game.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the match, Io came out and said, I forgot what she said, yelled at her, said that, next week, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Then we get a Karrion Kross vignette.
Should have hit her with that, your soul is mine.
Isn't Shang Tsung Chinese?
He is. That's why it's not, I was just, thinking, something.
Should I edit this out?
I was saying, you said next week, you're mine, your soul is mine. It's just kind of, close.
So, moving on, next week, we get a Karrion Kross vignette for next week to hype his appearance. We didn't get a Balor announcement. They talked about what happened to Balor's locker room last week, and we haven't seen his whereabouts, but he'll be back next week, even though there was no update on his health or nothing like that. Then we ended up getting Dexter Lumis versus Shane Thorne. I thought this was the best Dexter Lumis match I've seen so far on NXT since he's been up here. So he's been up here for about a year now, because he was one of those people that were in a breakout tournament last year, right? With ACH and Garza and, not Corey Graves, Buddy that's, from North Carolina, trained by the Hardys. Really good.
Cameron
Grimes. Yep. And Swerve. So, he is basically I think because of the thing that they did with Velveteen last week, you don't know if he's a heel or a face, you just know he's a weirdo, so he's an axe murderer or whatever else. And it was cool to see him basically, he had his match, he sold, it's kind of similar to, it reminds me of the old Undertaker matches from when he was a zombie before 94. But, he basically, he sold, but he sold, that hurt, but I'm about to, get up and whoop your ass. Moves kind of slowly, except for the in action. I thought it was good. I don't think it's oh my God, he's a superstar, but I thought it was a little bit interesting.
I think that he would be getting that murmured kind of, people would be wondering,
I think
like,
so
what
too.
the fuck is this in front of the crowd?
Yeah, this would not be something that was over. People would be like, I don't know yet. Like, it'd be kind of similar to, like, Grimes at the beginning. It was like, we don't really rock with this dude, but, like, he started having banger matches, so people started, like, respecting it. And, like, the thing with his matches is, he's having character matches instead of blow-away matches. Like, if he can do one of those matches, I don't know if he can. Like, if he could have one of those matches, that would definitely ingratiate him to the NXT live crowd and to the people that watch NXT. So, after that, we end up getting a Keith Lee promo to hype his match coming up in the main event. He talked with a raspy voice to sell the nightstick shot to the throat from last week from Damian Priest. Then we end up getting Drake Maverick versus Tony Nese. Tony Nese beat the fuck out of Drake Maverick. He clobbered the hell out of that dude. You can see, and I don't think the commentary did a good enough job of explaining of articulating how bad he's getting whooped, because, like, you could see after some of the strikes across his back that, like, when he got back to the middle of the ring instead out of the corner, you can see the bruise all on his back. Like, he got whooped bad, and then he sold it like he was getting hurt really bad to the point to where he was in tears. And then Tony Nese started, like, clowning him and talking about, are you gonna cry? Are you gonna cry? And then Drake Maverick fired up, and then he mounted a comeback, and then eventually he ended up winning the match. I thought this was very good, like, selling and fire from Drake Maverick. And after watching this, it's like, after last week's match and this week's match, like, I am very convinced that, like, this dude needs to be, once he's done wrestling or whatever else, needs to be working on teaching the future on how to work on stuff besides just the moves of wrestling. Like, he can put a very good match together, he can tell great stories, he can sell his ass off, and he's good enough in the ring to be able to do stuff, but he's not some super athlete. But he can do a lot of very good stuff towards a match. Like, he reminds me of, like, I wouldn't say he's Brian Kendrick in the ring as far as that, but, like the stuff of, like, this is my last shot, it feels a lot like that from the Cruiserweight Classic a few years ago.
I like this a lot. And I just got to challenge everybody. Like, can you name a low card wrestler that has ever had better gear than Tony Nese? Anywhere, at any time period. Because I feel like this guy's in a league of his own. Like, he's always busting out new dope shit. Like, someone that's, like, you know, not pushed as a big star in a company, someone that's, like, you know, in the second match on the card that has come out here and just been consistently as fly as Tony Nese has been for, like, 4 years now.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, but getting to the match, like, when he started doing that, were you gonna cry and stuff? It was like, oh man, like, it was almost like, ew, this thing is icky, but then it's like,
I felt the same way.
I'm like, just work me, whatever. Like, I'm like, just work me.
Yeah, like, I was at a point to where, like, I was starting to, I don't know if they were trying to, it's really weird because obviously there's no crowd, but, like, they built this, like, the beating that he took to the point where it's like, you were starting to remember, like, what this dude is going through right now outside of wrestling, and it's like, they're fucking embarrassing this dude. This is on his way out the door. He's about to take another fucking loss, and then he's going to do some, he's not tough enough to deal with the wrestling, that's why we got rid of his ass, and I was going to be like, this is going to be heat for somebody, and I was like, this is gross. And then he came back and won, I was like, this was very well done. Because, like, and especially when it's like, there's nobody for them to play this off of to realize when the cutoff point was. This is all off of feel. This was very good done. This was very well done. Yeah, then we end up getting the main event, Damian Priest versus Keith Lee with North American title match. I really enjoyed the shit out of this match. They struck hard. Keith Lee threw him around. There was athleticism. I love Keith Lee fighting other big dudes in NXT. Like, it works for some reason for me personally. Like, it all works very well. I know at the very end we're going to get to the line, but I really enjoyed this match. What were your thoughts on the match when we get to the end?
Yeah, like, I remember popping when he threw Priest from, like, the arena portion onto the apron. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, like,
right. You know what I thought? Like, when his knee hit the corner of the apron when he landed on the apron, it made me think of how CM Punk wrecked his knee, or not wrecked, but like, or tore his MCL on the WrestleMania 29 elbow off the top rope to the table through Undertaker. How he landed on the edge and his knee his knee went out, so he tore his MCL on, like, landing on the edge of, when his knee landed on the edge of the table. And I thought the same thing. He may have just fucked up his knee. Oh no! But like, I was super impressed by he was able to throw him that far. Like, that was impressive.
Yeah, same here. But
here we go. So Keith Lee.
So when I was watching this match, mind you, I was working at the time, so I had the volume turned down. So it kind of blew past me the first time it happened. I'm like, oh, okay, Keith Lee won. Okay, that was a pretty good match. I go on Twitter maybe a day later, right? And then somebody has screen capped this 12-second portion like, ha, 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 ha. What the fuck is this? I'm like, I don't remember what they're talking about. I click on it. This man comes with the damn nightstick, and Keith Lee, like, damn near gives him, he's on one knee. Remember the Ronda Rousey block, like the judo block?
The rising block on Dana Brooke, yes.
But it was like slower. So he like grabs it, and then he like starts shaking his head and stands up, and he's like, I am limitless, and then does his finish. I'm like, what the fuck?
So the reason why it's funnier to me is, okay, so before, to set that up, right, you had the nightstick shot to the throat last week. You had him cut the promo backstage with the gravelly, raspy voice, right? And then this week, or sorry, then in the match, like, they do a spot where, like, they battle through, like, grabbing each other's throats to try to get, like, a dueling chokeslam, and then eventually Priest gets a sit-out chokeslam, and he couldn't get the win, so that's one of his moves, so he freaked out that he couldn't beat the dude with his move, so he goes out, and he grabs the North American title, and he grabs his nightstick. He hides the nightstick below the ring so the ref can't see it, and then he throws the belt into the ring for the dumbass ref to go get it and take it out the ring. So when the ref is distracted, he extends the nightstick, and he goes to, basically Triple H sledgehammer shot him in the throat again. And then Keith Lee puts the fist, like you said, and or puts the hand up and stops his the momentum of it. And then he gets up, and Keith Lee makes a face, and he goes like, he shakes his head and he goes, and to me, you made it sound like he had a tough voice. To me, it sounded like he had a weak voice. Like he was like, I am limitless. And then he hits up with him moving and wins.
Bro, now, I was like, why? I was like, whoever put this together, the agent, I know they've been firing people. Fire this person too. They got to go with them because you want to talk about. You want to talk about how to make someone uncool or the WWE-izing of something. There's nothing like blocking a fucking weapon, shouting your fucking catchphrase, and then doing your fucking finish to win the match. There's nothing more WWE than that.
But Rich, the best part is, it sounded like nigga was crying when he said this.
Yes. I am limitless. I'm like, what? That doesn't even make sense in the context. Like,
Right. So the thing for me was, I had saw the clip of it before I saw the match. Like, right? Because somebody had spoiled it for me. And I was like, wait, what? All right, whatever. Right. So, like, keep in mind, this is off the strength, or this is off of, like, the context of a few weeks ago with the people just completely fucking hating the hell out of Gargano and Ciampa. So I'm sitting there watching the match like, oh god, this is gonna be a fucking disaster, and I'm gonna have to hear this shit from people shitting on it, and people don't like WWE, people don't like NXT by extension of thinking like, oh, they're playing keep away for AEW, and I'm like, whatever, I have to hear this shit. So then the match, I'm like, this is a good ass match, and it keeps going. I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be the end. And true enough, it happens. I'm like, look, man, here's your 3.5 stars. Take your ass on. Get off my screen. Y'all did a good job. That part sucked. But that was only like 10 seconds, so whatever. So, whatever. It sucked. That part sucked.
Please go watch this. It's like the funniest thing that you can think of when you think in the context of taking the edge off someone and, like, shoehorning catchphrases and the machine being the machine.
Yeah. So some quick notes we can hit real quick. Yesterday was The Rock's 48th birthday, and this week was also the 7th anniversary of the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's really weird that, like, you think of people or whatever else, and like obviously everyone gets older, but like I still think of The Rock as like this like symbol of like youth. It's probably because like he's on that anti-aging and he doesn't like he still looks like he's in his damn 30s.
They don't test in Hollywood.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, like, you know, it's cool to see, like, you know, he's super happy and he's doing all this stuff, and like he still has a, you know, relationship with wrestling, even outside of WWE, because he loves wrestling so much. People like their WWE like hardcores are like, they don't believe that he was watching AEW. When he said he's watching AEW, he was like, okay, so you mean to tell me that you think The Rock lied for a group of fan base that are just basically geeks? Right, super hardcore wrestling fans, and what it's going to do is make his life and his daughter's life harder. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, dude loves wrestling. Dude's loving life. Dude has a great life so far, and like it's really cool to, like, in this day and age, to have like so many people that you grew up idolizing basically like embarrassing themselves or whatever else, and like Rock got a little stuff here and there, but like it's so little that you just like, we'll talk about that when we'll talk about it. Like, we just want to talk about how awesome The Rock is.
The Rock is the man.
Yeah, like he's one of the least problematic people that are that famous that you can find. So yeah, shouts to The Rock.
Happy birthday. And
do you ever want to see him wrestle again?
You know what? Depending on who they do it with, I've always wanted one more Triple H and Rock match for the long. To finish both of their careers, because, you know, The Rock's
double
career started,
match?
Like a double retirement match or something like that. Like, Rock's career started, Triple H was literally on the other side of the ring. They fought at every level until, you know, Rock ended up going to Hollywood, and then Triple H ascended into, you know, being an executive. I always wanted them to actually have a match at WrestleMania. I'm not as much into the Roman Reigns versus The Rock thing, because I would feel like it's entirely manufactured. Like, I wouldn't be able to buy into it really, like, at all, because I'm like, it is hard with family feuds sometimes, and like, we know that The Rock fucking probably adores Roman, and vice versa. So it would be hard for them to do like this, you know, goofy ass storyline. It would feel like Reigns and Goldberg kind of like, it's like, come on, man, like I don't think there would be any substance there.
Like, and to get the substance, you have to like have Rock like actually wrestle more than once, which is like, seems like it's out of the question, right? Like, you know, we talk about Rock and Rock from WrestleMania 27 through 29, and you know, he had that match at Survivor Series with Cena where he's tagging with Cena against the Awesome Truth. He has the match at WrestleMania. He shows up and makes a save at Raw 1000 where CM Punk lays him out. It sets up the Royal Rumble match. They have the match at Royal Rumble with Punk. They have the match at Elimination Chamber with Punk. And then he drops the title to Cena at WrestleMania 29. Like, we're never getting that kind of schedule from The Rock ever again. He's so, like, it's crazy. Like,
he's so much bigger now than he was then.
Even then, when he was already gigantic. That's crazy, right? So yeah, I don't see it ever happening. But like, to do that with Roman, to have it make sense. But, you know, I'm never going to be like, no, I'll never be like, I'm tired of seeing The Rock do part-time stuff. Like, nah, like, that dude is so beyond the pale of what, you know, the Brock Lesnar's or Goldberg's or anybody else, or Undertaker or Triple H of being a part-timer. Is like, nah. I might not even necessarily like it at the time, whatever else, but that's going to do so much business for them that, like, if you can shit on that if you want to, you're just wrong. So, as far as the Bullet Club, what 7-year anniversary this week? What are your thoughts?
Man, like, it's like time fucking flies. Like, and you think about like when Bullet Club formed, like we weren't even like really aware of New Japan. Like, as far as like, you know,
I didn't know of Bullet Club's existence until probably 5 years or less.
Right. Fun story. So, you know, I've had my catchphrase on a lot of my songs, like, that real.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of largely adopted that from Bullet Club. Like at the beginning where they would say, like, it's real, like something like that. And, you know, I've, you know, kind of put my own spin on it. But going back through looking at, you know, all the different eras that it's been, and the impact of Bullet Club and its, you know, ability to create stars, the merchandising that's within it, the amount of people in it, it's like the modern NWO, but way better. Like, like as far as
they're
like
they're a lot like less toxic.
Yeah. Yeah. And you talk about like all the different eras of it, and we're still figuring out what this current one is, but it seems like a lot of people enjoy it. Maybe not as much as some previous ones,
incarnations. Yeah,
but there's a lot to be said for a group maintain, like guys like Tama Tonga being in there, like a core member. Battle of Fale is still there, and it's just like there's always this identity that will always be there. Like in this phenomenon with these shirts, they literally set off like a style, essentially, for better or for worse. But that's where a lot of guys became stars. A lot of guys became stars not only in New Japan but around the world there, and it's kind of like this perfect vehicle. You can just stick the next guy in, and they can kind of reform the group in their image, and it can still work.
Yeah. I didn't fully understand what they were doing when they were doing the Elite inside a Bullet Club thing at the time, but now that they did it, and what they did with it, it makes all the sense in the world. It made everything a clean break for them to potentially leave. It gave themselves their own name. I'm talking about the Elite version of it. The Bullet Club part before then, when, whether it was Balor or if it was not Balor, but sorry, Devitt, or if it was AJ, I'm not that familiar with it outside of watching AJ's New Japan stuff, which I've watched very little of it. But it was a super bankable thing that you had heard about, and if you're not super hardcore at the time, like I wasn't a super hardcore fan. I was personally like my friends are hardcore wrestling fans or international stuff, but me, I'm still just mostly just onto WWE, and like so the name rang out, but like I didn't have much of a connection to it. And then you would see the shirts, and you see the shirts everywhere you went, and like at any of these wrestling events. It was like, wow, these dudes are making a lot of fucking money. And then the BTE stuff that put more of a face to it for me. And then, like with Kenny, it was like, yeah, that dude's awesome. And to see AJ come to WWE and make it off the strength of that. And then, when they were doing the Balor Club stuff and they were teasing Bullet Club and WWE at times, that's how like, you made it when it's like they're teasing stuff based off what happened elsewhere, because Vince ain't trying to do none of that shit, right? So like to where we now have like that faction is spread out over everywhere in a similar way to like the NWO was, where like you had New Japan Muda and shit. I'm sorry, the World NWO Muda and shit at the time, and like. It's everywhere from AEW to WWE to NXT. Like, it's crazy. I don't know what's in store for it in the future. I don't know if they need another boost after this. But they're in decent hands right now. I feel like at the beginning of the year, Jay White and Kenta, especially at the end of the year, like they did very well with it, especially after the heat they were given. It just they have to start putting their money where their mouth is with these matches, and they'll be fine after that. And I think they'll still be fine even after this. But I feel like they're going to be a stable that's going to be around for a long time. I don't think they're ever going to get rid of Bullet Club until like it's fully dead. Like they're like it's.
Like Tama Tonga's had to retire or something.
Yeah, it's gonna be like all them dudes retire, and that's going to be the end of it. It's going to keep going for years from now. And given by that amount of time, I feel like there'll be more people that'll be back in New Japan. So maybe they'll be able to kind of revitalize it or whatever else, and take it back to the level it was before. For in the eyes of the foreign fans compared to the domestic fans, but yeah, I think they built themselves something that lasted and is a lot more effective than what they were trying to go after. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Like,
it was like we're gonna give this junior heavyweight like this cred in the heavyweight division, so we're gonna like put him with this big, motherfucker Fale and another top foreigner and Carl Anderson, and we got this other guy Tama Tonga that's in there with him too. So
yeah,
let's see what we get out of this, and then it's led.
Yeah.
Look, Gato don't miss.
No, he don't. But it is 9 o'clock, so it's time to get off here and watch some Michael Jordan. So I'll holler at y'all. We'll be back, and I'll give you the plugs and all that stuff at the end. But I'll holler at you, Rich.
Vote for One Nation Radio in the fantasy draft joint.
I thought it already ended.
I don't know if it did or not.
Okay, well, hopefully it didn't end. But yeah, vote. We'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I'm doing this during a commercial break. This is probably, this is 9:32. This is basically after episode, or in the middle of episode 5. They touch on him and Kobe's like interaction during the '98 All-Star game, and then they start talking about Dream Team stuff. This is just like this is just the best. But yeah, that's the end of the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this. Tell the folks about the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Be sure to check out our friends at Powerslam.tv, the sponsor of the show. If you're a fan of independent pro wrestling and have over 5,000 hours of footage from all over the world, you can use the code Social Suplex to get your free month trial. Don't forget to visit ProWrestlingTees.com/Social Suplex and pick up some official Social Suplex Podcast Network merchandise. Be sure to check out the other shows on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. On Sundays, we have this show, One Nation Radio. On Tuesdays, we have Keepin It Strong Style. On Wednesdays, we have the Ricky Clive Wrestling Podcast. On every other Wednesday, we have Grown Men Watch This Shit. On Fridays, we have Get in the Ring. On Saturdays, we have All Things Elite. You can see I'm trying to rush off this shit before they come back from commercial break, right? Yeah, I'll holler at y'all later.